This is what we all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. It is here. It is, what, we 5 days away? 4 days away, depending on when you hear this. It could be 3, 2, or 1 day away from Roman Reigns retaining. I'm not going to do that. We're going to wait till the end of the podcast to give out predictions. Or it could be until a boyhood dream is coming true for Cody Rhodes. Ain't that right, E?
Doing it for the daddies. This weekend.
Episode 121, WrestleMania preview and prediction show. TFW podcast, that's Freakin Wrestling. You guys know how we give it up. I am your host, Matt, joined by my co-host. And we got a familiar face on the pod. Last time he was on the pod, we were talking Elimination Chamber. Back by popular demand. Brandon's in the house. And if you are on YouTube, if you are watching this on YouTube, if you're not watching this on YouTube, you should be. That's Freakin Wrestling on YouTube. You will see the first time Brandon was on, had nothing in the background.
It was like this.
And he was like, you know what, y'all? I know I'm going to add to the production. Next time you see me, I'm going to have something wrestling related. Next podcast, Brandon showed up with a small little WWE championship belt. Better than nothing. Hell yeah, Brandon, represent. Today, Brandon looks like he just got off work teaching kindergartners, and they all drew something for his background. Love it. Thank you for showing up, my good man.
Appreciate you guys for having me. It's always love to kick it and talk some freaking wrestling.
And this one may go 4 hours. We got a lot to talk about. Eshaun, Rhodesia, y'all know how we do it. What's going on with y'all?
We're here at WrestleMania week. Like I said on the last pod, this is like what I get so excited for. We have Christmas, Easter, WrestleMania. This is it.
Throw in Thanksgiving in there for me.
Got to throw in 4th of July in there for me when I used to do the fireworks.
There you go.
I give you 4th of July. Thanksgiving, ugh.
He don't really celebrate holidays. Do you see he kind of laid out?
I just show up.
See?
I just show
that's
up.
what it is. He just kind of like
And eat some chocolate cake, right?
That's right.
kind of like CM Punk on the Ariel Helwani show. So I was thinking, hey, where are we going to start? You know, we're going to start with Raw because this was the go-home show for Raw. Eshaun didn't. I don't even think Eshaun even watched Raw live. Last thing I heard from Eshaun doing Raw was, man, I'm locked in on this CM Punk interview. I'll check Raw out later. Yeah, I know he checked it out later, but he was locked and loaded into the Punk interview. I'm going to throw it to you because, you know, E's the petty one on the pod. E likes anytime there's anybody that throws a little smoke at AEW, E all about it. So, E, the floor is yours, my good man. CM Punk on the Ariel Helwani show that had the internet and social media going nuts. Actually, I guess 24 hours because we kind of passed it now a little bit. But what you think? What you got? All of it.
So we knew it was going to be a captivating interview. We knew it was going to be hot. I wasn't ready for how hot that interview was, guys. You know, multiple times during the interview, CM Punk said, I don't want to talk about it. And he talked about it.
And what he did after that.
And I mean, he was giving it up for Big Daddy. He was giving it up so good.
Oh,
my
gosh.
man said, I don't want to talk about that. And proceeded to talk about it for 15 minutes. All right, Phil.
He just, it was an amazing. And like, I couldn't, we know CM Punk, we know he's unfiltered on these interviews, but I was just captivated by how unfiltered and how much he gave us during this interview about everything AEW related and even WWE related. I think the entire conversation was just fascinating, guys. But I do want to talk to you a little bit about the Jack Perry situation, and we're getting some of the AEW stuff. I just found it to be very, very, very interesting. So, you know, he mentioned, we heard some of these things, right? What happened with Jack Perry on the Collision show where he wanted the real glass. So he said Tony started a new show where everybody's supposed to be separated, get rid of all the drama. So he said,
Strike one.
Tony Schiavone comes up to him, pulls him out of catering. And he said that Jack Perry's going crazy backstage. He's cussing out Tony. He's cussing out the doctor and some of the producers. And he's begging CM Punk to come put a squash to this. And Punk's like, man, look, y'all need to go get somebody else to go take care of this. Because if I have to take care of it, you're not going to like the way I do it. Right? So Punk eventually comes over to Jack. And in his estimation, he's very, very polite to Jack. He said that, let me get the actual quote. I was told by people. He said he walks up to Jeff. He's sitting in the car, and what he wanted to do was smash the window of the rental car with a pipe. I was like, it's a rental car. I very politely, because I like Jack, I said, Doc told you no, Daryl told you no, Mike told you no. I guess these are producers.
Who's Daryl?
Who's
Ain't no Daryl working backstage at AEW.
Oh, I can see a Daryl. When I imagine Daryl, I imagine me with a big pot belly and my lip kind of hanging over a little bit.
Balled in just a little bit.
Yeah, like I feel like Daryl would be me, right? And he said, Savani told you no. Now I have to tell you no. And apparently you're cussing them all out. I'm telling you no. We don't do that here. If you want to do that, get that trash to Wednesday. I'm paraphrasing.
Down to Wednesdays.
Right? So, and the doctor's like, this stuff can get in your eye. And if you want to do that, take it to Wednesday. We don't do that here on Saturday. So Punk goes like, he took Jack, in this case, take something very business-minded. He took it very personally. He said, that's fine. He's done that too. It's very much who he is, friends with, and the shit never got squashed. Nobody is in charge. And it turned into what it turned into. To me, throughout the entire interview, he took kind of some shots at, Tony Khan and AEW, specifically quite often with Tony Khan. He said that he's not a boss. He's a nice guy. Someone needs to be the boss. No one runs this place. Nothing gets handled. So as I'm listening to it, I'm like, man, it's exactly what we thought it was. I mean, in a lot of ways, it was very interesting to me hearing his recount the situation. But Matt, you heard it. Did anything change for you? Were you enlightened by anything you heard, or were you just surprised by how truthful he was being in the interview?
That's a great question. So let's break this up. So let's stick to that part, because I do want to hit on some things that he said about WWE. I also want to hit on just Punk's demeanor nowadays. So let's kind of stay on like the AEW Jack Perry piece. I wasn't surprised at all, because nowadays, like, for us that have been following this thing for a long time and been around it for a long time, we typically can decipher BS from non-BS. When these stories started coming out, we knew it was legit. So if we just take Brawl Out, for instance, and now Punk is like, look, man, just let me go. I don't need to be here. I don't want to be here. Evidently, they don't want me here either. Just let me out my contract so I can go. Tony's like, nope, no. You need to stay. We'll give you a Saturday show. Punk's like, well, that's never going to work, because that just doesn't work. The reason why it's not going to work is because you can't put a Band-Aid on a problem like that. We've said it for months on the podcast last year. Tony, you got to sit these guys down and say, hey, nobody's leaving this room until we get this ironed out. I don't care what time your flight is. I don't care what you got going on. We are in this room until we get this ironed out, until we all can make money together. And that never happened. So, to your point about Punk saying, now, and also, too, this is Punk's side of the story. So we got to keep that in mind, too. Because by some chance, some way, all of that could be a lie. We know it's not, but by some chance, it could be. So take it for face value. But one of the things that Punk said was, that's not going to work. And I know it's not going to work. So just let me go. So now you got the whole Jack Perry thing, and you did a great job of breaking it down for anybody who didn't watch the interview. And he said Jack Perry was open to not doing it. He said, okay. And as Punk said, look, man, I get it. I've been here before. No, that just doesn't make sense. He said Perry was cool, allegedly, with it. Then we fast forward to All In. He makes the comment to the camera, and now we're off to the races. And he said, I just choked him up a little bit. I mean, who says that? I just choked him a little bit. I thought that was hilarious. So, like, for me, it was more of just, like, I was happy that it's finally out there, and it was kind of like a black cloud has now been erased from the forecast. Now, on the AEW side, we can talk about that, too. Rough week. Rough week for them because you got that. Then you had the releases late Monday night. Rough week for them. But it was kind of what I thought. I wasn't surprised by anything around that piece. Brandon, you don't watch AEW as often. You are consistently watching now, but you weren't locked in, of course, back then when Brawl Out happened, maybe a little bit when All In happened with him and Jack Perry. But watching that interview, were your thoughts like, okay, I'm glad he finally said it? Was your thoughts like, man, he's full of it, he's not telling the truth? Or was your thoughts even more of like, see, this is why maybe AEW struggling where they are struggling because of what he's saying?
A couple of things. So I appreciated his transparency, or at least what I think was transparent. It sounds like he meant well in the whole thing with Jack Perry and trying to guide him. I do like the idea of him coming to him and saying, "Yo, I've been there before. This ain't the safe thing to do, or what have you." And not only thinking about it for in the moment, but like you're trying to ruin a rental car, and he had the right idea by saying like, you can't take this back to them, and then that company is like, we're not renting to that company or all of wrestling, people in the future, because look how they handle our property. And that was cool. But I like Punk a little bit more. Like I don't have that much familiarity with him. His rise or his run in WWE, I kind of had stopped watching during that period. And I caught wind of the issue. And I don't know, I don't even know if y'all remember, but like when the Brawl Out stuff happened, I was siding with everybody else, like, and letting y'all know, like, I didn't know a lot about Punk, but I was like, yo, he's crazy. Like, you can't do that. Like, and even when he got the own show, I wasn't an advocate for him getting his own show. I was like, why would you reward him for his behavior and all that stuff? So, hearing him now gives me a little bit better perspective. I maybe understand him a little bit more. I like him more for sure after that interview. But yeah, I thought he gave it up, and I was happy to see that he gave it up.
Okay, so what in the interview, because for the most part you kind of knew, and maybe you didn't know the details of like the reasoning is, hey, it's a rental car, et cetera,
Right.
et cetera. But what about that interview where you like, all right, you know what, I rock with Punk more than I did 2 hours ago?
His disposition about everything, I think it's a matter of how he conducted himself in the interview. Again, I don't get to see, or I haven't gotten to see a lot of interviews where dudes are out of character or in character, but that's exactly who they are. So that was a new side of Punk. I mean, I've seen him on a mic in a wrestling setting, but this seemed to be a bit more real. Now, whether he was working or shooting, I don't know. In settings like this, I'm a little bit of a mark, so I get caught up in it or whatever. And maybe I'm a mark now because whatever he did or said during that interview came across in a way where I appreciate him now more than I did before. So I think it might have just been his disposition and how he conducted himself.
And I have almost the complete opposite take of it.
Of course you do.
Uh-huh.
Of course you do.
I wasn't even going to say. I thought that. I'm like, of
Yeah.
course.
When you watch an interview with somebody who's completely one-sided in a situation, I have to call bullshit on a lot of that. I thought he was full of shit in a lot of the things. Some of the things that he was not full of shit of, and I'll go over that in just a moment. But like just talking about the whole Jack Perry, nothing was never his fault. It was somebody coming out to come get him, that the old man had to go save the day, and the old man's giving his thoughts and nobody want to take it. He still choked Jack Perry. And he tried to make it sound, I didn't punch him. I didn't throw any blows. I just choked him. But you still choked him. You still don't do that. Like, that's just not called for.
That's
What's the
professional.
Kanye meme? The
Yeah,
Kanye
that's
meme?
And so real quick, Rhodesia, back up a little bit because you're already at All In. Let's just stick to, this was a conversation that happened at Collision where he wanted to do the real glass spot. And Jack Perry had already cussed out Tony Schiavone. He already cussed out the producer. He had already cussed out the trainer that I'm doing this. And then
that's based off of what he said.
Schiavone, well, this is accurate because that story wasn't new.
This has been reported. Yeah, this has been reported.
That had already been reported. So stick to that part. Of course, he shouldn't have choked up Jack Perry. Well, we also don't know too, like if Jack Perry swung him or not. But
He might have
if you
deserved
stick
it.
to that story, you also think he's lying there too.
I think that he's not telling the whole truth, but it might be his own truth. And that's what I'm getting to. So there's parts of this story, and I know that maybe he has some other stuff he wants to talk about it, but there's some parts of the story, like the hangman thing. That right there, he absolutely got dissed. If he had the understanding with Hangman that y'all was going to talk about this, and then all of a sudden you get in the ring and you talking about something else, he actually brought specific things in, like how loud the crowd was. So he had actually really paid attention to what Hangman was saying because he wanted to make sure that that interaction in the ring sounded good. That to me sounded legit. Because again, you're adding these layers of specifics that you're able to say, okay, that he's probably telling the truth there. But the Jack Perry thing, the going to WWE, like all of that, like to me, I think when he talked and when I watched that and I was really intent watching it, I think a lot of the things he was saying was just to try to make him look good. And he's mentioned it multiple times in that interview that his narrative out there or his reputation out there is that he's a bad guy. So he let people think, but I also feel like this was his time to come and try to defend himself. And to me, it was more like, yeah, you're defending yourself, but you're defending yourself a little bit too much. I'm quite sure the way he was throwing Jack Perry under the bus, TK under the bus.
I thought you was about to say throwing him around. I was
No,
like, damn.
that too. I mean, I pay for that footage. I pay $9.99 for that. But all of that, I respect him on the Vince side of things. So again, the other part of this interview I loved about was his feelings on Vince. And that sounded legit and true because again, he added those specific layers on there. He came in the gym, I got off the phone and then we hugged. I didn't talk to him since because from what I heard, this dude is dirty.
Man, that was a bar. That was a bar when he said he ruined his life by ruining others' lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm like, that is the best way to probably say it.
Yep, that was insightful.
So I'm gonna just say, like, no, I didn't lose any respect for Punk. It didn't make me feel any better about Punk. It's probably just the same of how I feel about Punk. I would just say which is what? That because of his past experience with WWE and what made him leave wrestling, he has now built this callus on him that he knows that he has boundaries and he's never going to let anybody take advantage of him again. So now this is his portrayal. So if I don't like something, I'm going to say something. I'm going to be even more of a badass than what I was before because now I have leverage to use here. A lot of other things in that video too was how he didn't have a non-compete. What the hell? How did someone like that not have a non-compete? So then that tells me there probably is more stuff that's going on in the background that we really just don't know. But it was interesting that he could talk about everything else except for Brawl Out.
Yeah,
and I know that there was an NDA, but go ahead, Brandon.
Not only did he not have a non-compete, but it sounds like he didn't have an NDA.
He on the things he did talk about.
Yeah, outside of the Brawl Out thing.
Mm-hmm.
But you think about it. We think about being a boss. Like Jack Perry's a young
Mercedes.
man. Jack Perry is
CEO.
He's a young man there, but he's cussing out multiple producers. He's cussing out. Now this isn't. I don't think it's something he's making up. This has been reported by multiple sources, right? So this is probably closer to reality, right? Right now, his retelling of it and how he interacted with Jack. Now, if he didn't yell at him or was he condescending, whatever his tone was, but it sounds like Jack was very disrespectful to the leadership at Collision, right? What company can you work for where somebody can feel comfortable enough to disrespect multiple people in a profession? Like, right, I'm not sure how many I can do that, right? I couldn't go to senior managers and tell them, no, I'm going to do what I want to do, right? I'm not going to go rent a rental car and then say I'm going to bash it out and I'm going to make somebody pay for it. And that's a problem, right? So I'm not sure if how Punk's message was to him, but at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you what, I don't pull punches. I'm going to tell somebody the way it is. Look, you ain't doing that shit here. All right, so I'm not sure how he was supposed to say.
And you shouldn't be talking to people who are put in positions of leadership.
Exactly.
Like that.
Right. So so I'm not sure if they pulled him out of cater. He got involved. Somebody got him involved, or maybe he saw what was happening and decided to get involved. We don't know, but someone needed to be involved. We do know that the boss was in the building. right? And so multiple people had to get into that situation, and Punk finally was the person that had to be like, "Yo, no, that's it." So you go back to Jack Perry now, right? I'm sorry, Rich, you're not a man, but how much can someone push you before you react? Now we can all talk about how we're mature, we can handle things in a different situation, but you got this guy who's on a big, huge broadcast bringing up some internet stuff, right? Real glass crime mirror. For real? You're bringing up some old stuff? It gets back to my man. So Punk supposedly said to Tony, like, yo, be a boss. Handle this. He said Tony's reply
happened
was,
after that?
Tony's reply was, what do you want me to do? Now, if you already have a problem with leadership, so as a leader, if someone brought something to your attention, now we're all been leaders in something. Like, I don't think the correct response from another leader is, what do you want me to do? No, the correct before you because I'm sure you're going to play devil's advocate. That's correct, but I know that's not you. But let me finish. You go ahead and say what you want to say.
Yep.
So Punk said, "Hey, look, if you don't deal with it, I'm going to deal with it, right?" And he dealt with it the way he dealt with it. Now, was it correct? But hey, let me tell you something else. I'll be honest with you. If I wasn't held by rules and standards, if I can choke a dude and still get what I want, I would have choked his ass out too.
Just a little bit. No,
I'm just keeping it real. I'm just keeping it real. No.
Said choke a little bit. Just a little bit.
I would choke his ass a lot.
Just a little bit.
I would choke him ass a lot. And like, if I didn't fear getting fired, or I would choke his ass too. Don't keep my name out your mouth. Period.
So my butt was, and it's not a butt as a devil's advocate. The butt is, if we didn't have a sit down for Brawl Out, that is a proper response from Tony Khan. If he doesn't have that leadership ability in that said piece, and he doesn't have to, right? But you could put Mark Henry. Mark Henry's under contract. You could put Mark Henry in that spot. The spot Undertaker had back in the day, where he was a locker room leader. Mark Henry, anytime the boys get out of line, I need you to take care of that for me. There's people back there that can do that. So my butt is, if we couldn't sit down with the Elite, with Punk, and whoever else was involved in Brawl Out, and get this taken care of to the point where now we have to create a second show to appease everybody, of course that's Tony Khan's response of, what do you want me to do? If I couldn't take care of that, what do you want me to do about somebody making a comment into the camera?
And this is what I'm trying to get out, but this is what I'm trying to say. We cannot take the onus off of Punk. He still put hands on Jack Perry. I don't care.
Yeah, he should have.
But I don't care, and that's why
I would have put my feet on him too.
Let go. Point is that he was still wrong for that. I'm not about to go on here and say that, Jack Perry got exactly what he deserved. No, Punk, you should not have touched him, because he said, you cry me a river. Because you cry me a river, but I still use words. I use words versus hitting you. We learned when we were younger that stick and stones break bones, but words will never hurt. So at this point here, like, I don't care if I said "yo mama" to CM Punk. He could have hit him.
Yo daddy.
Hey, listen, Draymond Green got renewed $1 million contract for getting my man up out of my name, for getting his ass up out of the Warrior. Like, in sports, in the locker room, testosterone stuff happens. Like, right now, what should have been in place is an environment where that isn't acceptable. And that environment, for whatever reason, lack of leadership, structure, you name it, he was put in a position to where that's what he felt like he needed to do. He should have. We could say Punk. I'm not saying Punk was right. Well, I probably would have did it. I would have did it. Yeah, you're wrong. I would have been okay with being wrong too. Right?
Also, to E though, you would have done it probably in that exact same situation at that exact same time, leading up to those exact same scenarios. Now, if everything is beautiful backstage, I love being here. Everything is the way it needs to be. I feel like I'm sliding where I need to be. This place is professional.
We're going to talk it out.
I love everything about this place.
Yeah.
You are not going to then choke him up a little bit.
No, not just. Especially, different. he said that he somewhat liked Jack, right? So, yeah. Of course, we would have a conversation.
Don't do that. Don't put those little tidbits of saying, I actually like the guy. He's a good guy. I like the guy. And you say good guy. He said, I like the guy.
Choke him up a little bit.
Yeah, but I just choked him up a little bit. But no, you're diverting. That's just like an abusive partner choking their partner, saying, "Oh, I just choked the person up a little bit." No, that's still
little bit.
wrong. We can't get past that, and you can't make that any lighter that he choked somebody. Now, did Jack Perry deserve it? Hey, if you gonna talk big shit, then you gonna have to run your fade, right? But at the end of the day, Punk was wrong for that. And I felt like this interview, because he doesn't do interviews, this interview was his way of trying to combat the opposite of all the other stuff that's been said about him that's bad, and he's this guy who is hard to work with. He tried to go out there and paint a picture for himself in a different way, which I don't have a problem with that per se, because again, I want to be able to control my own narrative. I just felt that a lot of it is just bullshit, because you want to make yourself look better in a situation that it wasn't.
Brandon, you've already said you're a little bit more of a fan of Punk because of how he came across. You know, his demeanor, maybe how he carried himself. Of course, you know Punk. You've been watching Punk for decades and decades. What was your thoughts about his demeanor during the interview and how he came across?
So, you know, Punk's always been a divisive person, it seems like, in the locker room and on screen. Like, he's always says, like, hey, you believe things you heard. But he's even admitted that he's been a bit of a hothead and he's been, you know, pretty aggressive. He seemed like an older guy, right? That's able to kind of reflect a little bit more. Now, in the moment, does some of the old Punk come out? Sure, right? But he seemed to be in a much better place, especially when it comes to, like, his feelings about Triple H and WWE in general, right? Because you think about the interview and how venomous and vile the company was 10 years ago. You think about some of the words he said just a few years before this happened, and just listen to recant things and kind of put in a different perspective. It's very interesting because, you know, at the end of the day, I don't think that CM Punk needs to wrestle because he needs the money. Like, right? So why would he put aside said feelings if he didn't have a different perspective and then a different thought process in life? Only thing I would say that he didn't really get into how he went from 2000, was it 13 to 24? Like what was, because I think Ariel tried to ask him, like, hey, you know, is it just perspective? Is just you older? Like, what significantly changed in that time period to where, you know, within a matter of days, right? Like, within a matter of days, he's ready to come back, and he's almost ready to come back. Like, you know, like, hey, we gotta come back. I gotta come back on Saturday for Survivor Series. It's in my hometown. We got to do it then. What changed? Whereas, you know, almost 10 years ago, like, this wasn't wrestling and you had to get out.
I got the answer. And to me, it was plain and clear as day.
What's that?
Brandon saying money. I don't think it's money per se. I think it's twofold, because he even made a comment to what you said. Triple H has said, like, man, like, all right, hey, where you at? Like, I want that old Punk back a little bit, like, back here in the locker room. I think that's who Triple H thought he was bringing back. As of right now, this moment, Punk's not that guy, because you know how, like, we've all kind of gone through something, and then we are in a new environment, and maybe you got somebody who's bitching and moaning about something, and you have no idea what bad looks like. Let me explain to you what bad is. And maybe it was from, like, you know, our neighborhoods when we were growing up, or whatever the case may be, where you were just in a situation. Now you're no longer in that situation. Somebody else wants to complain. You're like, let me tell you about hard times.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes. Yep. CM Punk has gone through hard times in AEW. Good, bad, indifferent. It's his fault. It's not his fault. Whatever. When you go from, I thought I was coming back to help lead an alternative company to be an actual legit alternative brand of wrestling, and it is a nationally televised promotion, I'm thinking one thing, and I get here, and it's something completely different. Damn, I tore my tricep, and I gotta find my own physical therapist?
That was telling right there. Talk about that a little bit, Mac. That kind of was like...
It's like, wow. Now, who knows what was going on legally? Because remember, he said he talked to nobody from A-Day for like 6 months. Okay, well, that tells me then HR and legal said, hey, cut off contact until he's back from his injury, and then we can have a conversation.
But real quick, not to cut you off. There we go. But that's what I'm saying. So why wouldn't you share that whole story? You're just sharing that nobody talked to me for 6 months.
But maybe he didn't know that, though. I'm quite sure he would have. He doesn't know that.
I'm
Well,
quite
no,
sure
I'm
he would have
saying
known.
he's not going to.
Well,
shoot
Jack
AEW
Perry
bill.
supposedly hasn't talked to anybody in 6 months either. So it seems like communications is so. This is we talk about
No,
AEW.
this
This
is
is what's always been reported that people don't know what's exactly going on.
And
So it's
I'm
not
quite-
far to say that he hasn't been talked to.
and
Not if he hurt himself.
I've said this before. Of course, I would never give up the person who gave me information, but I was told by a very popular independent wrestler verbally to my face that the AEW locker room is like a high school and it is childish, and that said person said they would not want to be signed to AEW. And this is not a crap on AEW moment. I'm just giving that context because while, yes, I already started by saying this was Punk's side of the story, there's somebody else's side of the story, and there's probably the truth somewhere in between. But I can tell you for a fact, I think some of the stuff he said was 100% accurate. Was there some things in there I think that was not accurate? Yes. But back to what I was saying in terms of how he is now, I think he saw the bad side of what he doesn't want, and now he's back, quote unquote, home, where we know everything is professional and everything is ran the way it needs to be. And he's now in a utopian society where he can go
Until
down
we
to
got
NXT
Rondo on the podcast, right?
and really think to himself, you know what? Man, I could really see myself being like Sean down here when I retire in a few years. I could really see me just being down here and helping get the next generation where they want to be. He's tiptoeing. Because even like some of the things he was saying, I was like, man, Punk he's worried he's going to say the wrong thing and put himself in hot wire. Right now, he's just like, look, man, I love everybody and everything in this world. I'm just chilling back and calming down until we can get to where we need to get to, and then we can see from there. But overall, I did think the interview was great. Brandon, from your perspective, now being back enthralled into wrestling the way you haven't been in 10 plus years or so, did that interview help, hurt, or it did nothing to get you more invested into him in the WWE?
It did a little more, and I think I'll probably be more invested in him by default, given that he is in WWE, because that's the primary brand that I watch. I just want to back up a little bit in terms of like what I feel like is the root of a lot of this stuff with AEW and how it even got to where it is now with Punk. I feel like the common thread, and I feel like I may have even texted this to you guys before, this is rooted in poor leadership, in my opinion. Tony Khan is the person who runs that company, but he doesn't lead that company. And I don't necessarily know, given the rumor of high school drama in the locker rooms, or him probably needing to appoint somebody like Mark Henry as the kind of go-to person in that locker room. I don't know that he has the capacity or the bandwidth to be able to make those decisions. I think, and I don't mean this in a negative way, and it comes off negative, but he's a very wealthy man who can kind of live out maybe a childhood dream. And I don't know that he's surrounded himself with all the right people. Again, I don't know this to be true. Front facing, it does seem like he does, but I don't know who the background people are that he consults with. Like, I remember when you guys first told me like talent is considered to be like EVPs and stuff like that. I don't know. I mean, it sounds great, and I love the idea of collaboration at a leadership level and all that good stuff. But if you can't police the people you're supposed to be leading, and then you kind of get all this constant chaos, like, what does that do for the company? I think there's a struggle with him leading, and if he can't lead, he can't give the proper vision for a company, and if he can't give the proper vision for a company, he can't inspire people to follow whatever his lead is on where they're going to go in the next 10, 15, 20 years, or however long this business is gonna go. So those are my thoughts about that. But yeah, I think Punk is a bit more likable. And when I did like this in terms of money, I just think WWE, I mean, they've obviously done it for a much longer period of time, but they just do better business, it seems like. again, this is just me on the outside looking in. I have no clue on what that looks like. I know we talk about ticket sales and all that stuff, and that doesn't necessarily tell the entire story, but I think they just do a far better job at conducting business with not only their talent, but internally within just the structure, the infrastructure of how they conduct business.
Let me say one more thing, and I'll let you take it so we can wrap it and move on to Raw from this week and Mania. But what we're seeing is the Triple H effect. Because everything we just talked about punking in for 35 minutes for the most part. That backstage environment was probably still better than the Vince McMahon backstage-led WWE. But now Vince is gone. So now WWE is the best of both worlds. Anybody who is backstage now talks about how laid back that backstage environment is. Some people think it's too laid back if you've been with the company for 20 plus years. We are hearing that talent are being heard much more than they ever have before. We are hearing everybody, for the most part, is happy with their spot because everybody has a story or something to sink their teeth into. This was not a thing when AEW first started. So when AEW first started, it is ruling with iron fist. Everybody's walking on eggshells. We hate it here. We getting the scripts torn up 5 minutes before we go live, and we're rewriting throughout the entire show. People getting their things cut. I can't wait to get out of here. Oh, there's a whole nother company and promotion. Hell yeah. Let me get a chance to go there. And by God, do we still want AEW to flourish and be the best they can be? But Tony Khan's leadership, if you take Punk at what he said for face value, worked 4+ years ago, it's not working now. And I think he just needs to find somebody to take that on. You don't have to be an ass. If that's not what your role is and that's not who you are, we all know he's a sweetheart of a guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then stick to that. Just hire somebody then to be that asshole. So when something like this does happen, we nip it in the bud. And I tweeted this yesterday because this can't happen again. Right? Like, hopefully, and I don't think he will, but Tony Khan saw it and just internalized it, maybe for 24 hours. And if there's any truth to it, sit back and just say, okay, then how can I make sure this does not happen going forward? And then just learn from it. But if it's all BS, then chalk it up to being BS. But I do think, and then I'll give it to you, I do think it's funny and not really just kind of like here, like Rhodesia was like, I'm already like, whatever, Punk. I don't feel no different. Brandon's like, look, I like Punk a little bit more. Me and E probably were kind of right down the middle. We were already Punk fans. But I saw a lot of that on social media. It was kind of like whatever side you were already on, you're still on that side. If you think Punk was the man, you're like, see, told you, AEW's in the mud, they're the worst company ever. If you hate CM Punk because he left AEW, it was, now look at this guy. All this stuff he's saying, he ain't taking no credit for anything. I can't stand CM Punk. He's the biggest piece of crap in the world. It's just interesting that how we are just as people. Like, when you ride for something, you ride for it. And something's got to knock you over the head to be able to change your mind on it.
You know what Punk slipped in there, what I wish he would have expanded on? When he was talking about WrestleMania and people taking spots, and how, when he said he was pissed on how he had to watch Rock and Cena 2 years in a row.
He talked about that before. He talked about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah. He was actually one of the main people talking back all those years ago, saying that he was tired of these part-timers coming back to take my position. So he's already been very boisterous about that.
Yeah, so much so he thought his match with the Undertaker was a step down.
No, like legit. Like,
legit.
He bitched and moaned about it.
Yeah.
Really?
Because he wasn't on last.
Yeah.
To the point where he said like he didn't even give his all in the lead up to it. Like the storyline and everything, because he just couldn't understand how he had busted his ass the entire year and he didn't get that main event spot. It was going to Rock.
Yeah, we got to talk to you on offline. It was like a lot of stuff going into that.
Gotcha.
But when I was listening to the interview, so like my opinion of him didn't change because I think that he's an older man. He should probably learn to express himself in the ways. But I'm not in his skin. I didn't go through what he had to go through. Right? I've already said that. If I could, I probably would choke the dude too. Not saying it was right, but if I can do it and get away with it, why the hell not? Right? Yeah. Somebody talking. Hey man, what are you gonna do about it? Let me show you. Right? I mean, come on now, man. What are you gonna do about it? Okay, let me show you. Right? I don't know. Whatever. Right?
He can't get over that. Has anybody
I'm
ever
like,
said that to you? This sounds like some like trauma that you got. When have you ever been in that position and either you didn't act on it or you did act on it? Tell us about it.
oh, this is back in the streets.
Oh my God. Okay. You know
Let's
what?
go to the
This is
next
back
topic.
in the
Let's go to the
All
next
right,
Hey,
topic.
but real quick,
Next
so
topic.
like
Next
when I'm
topic.
listening to the interview, you know, and Punk is talking about some of the leadership problems with the show. And he says that, you know, people aren't interested in making money, they're not interested in growing attendance, things of that nature. And then you look at the show, right? How they're not growing in attendance, you know, like they're not growing in ratings, you know, and they're
Major problem.
catering heavily to a niche audience. Right now, the three of us kind of talked about that, right? And I said, you know, like I think that they're on a train to kind of improve some things, right? Of course, you want to cater to your hardcores, but you want to also make your show more accessible to a larger audience, right? Because right now, AEW, when you watch it, it's not an easy watch for somebody who doesn't regularly follow the show, right? So when you're turning that on after watching WWE and you kind of don't know what's going on, and it's such a different style, it's probably hard to watch after some time. But for me, I felt like Tony was doing some of the right things. But after watching that interview, I kind of was like, oh man, maybe they aren't making the right moves to kind of build the company. Maybe the company is only going to be a product for niche hardcore fans, right? And they're getting a $1 billion deal probably soon, in the next couple of years. But what's the next one going to look like? Because you can't keep, you know, going to arenas that are 18,000 and you only filling up 2,500. Like, right? You can't keep on slowly losing your audience over a time period. Do you guys feel like, maybe just me, do you guys feel like AEW is going to do the things necessary to continue to grow their base and put out survive beyond this next contract?
They're gonna have to. I mean, if WBD give them a deal, it wouldn't surprise me if they insert somebody within that company to kind of help them get stuff right. Because, I mean, is that deal imminent? I mean, I know they're probably going to get it. I don't know, but at some point, you got to sell advertising, and if nobody's really watching a show, like, who's going to pay to? I mean, they'll have commercials, but I don't know, man.
Well, like I think what we're seeing, because if we looked at it as just a spreadsheet, right? So say we take the name AEW off and we just look at their business metrics. We'll look at it and say, okay, this is a business, pretty solid business in some spots, really strong business in other spots, lagging in some spots, right? We are saying this because of just how hot WWE is, and we knew what AEW was a couple years ago. It's a perception issue.
That's all
I'm willing to bet you if
it's a perception issue, and we're still comparing apples to oranges. We're two totally different type of companies. Well, you have a conglomerate.
Well, we're comparing AEW to AEW from years ago. That's where the perception issue. Say if starting next week, and they actually just hired a new guy. I think he's like the VP of like live events and such. Say if he says, "All right, guys, look, this is what we're doing." Outside of pay-per-views,
Jeff Jarrett, huh?
No, thanks a lot, Jeff Jarrett.
You're playing
outside of
pay-per-views,
okay, we are no longer running 10,000 seat arenas. We are running 3,000 seat arenas or less. And every show sells out.
Mm-hmm.
We're not having this conversation. The attendance numbers could be the exact same. 2,400 this week, 2,800 next week, 3,200 the following week.
I get that. But how do you change your perception? Is it by just going to smaller venues?
And there you go. That is what Tony Khan needs to figure out.
Yeah.
And that is what I wish or hope that they would do. Because the perception is they're lagging behind. The perception is he's a crybaby on social media. That's all perception. And in my opinion, that's why I think they're not growing their viewership. The show has been very good. But to E's point, if it is just going to be a niche, hardcore show, I'm still going to watch the majority of the time. We love wrestling, and they produce. Pay-per-views are incredible. A lot of their TV shows are great. It is, and I know I sound like a broken record, it is the week to week that is missing. And I'll give you a perfect example of it. On Monday night, the girls' college basketball, incredible games. 12.3 million viewers to be exact. Now, there's always women's college basketball on, but why did that one particularly have 12 million people tuning in?
We got the rematch.
It was a storyline.
Yep.
And it was stars.
Yep.
Storyline was this is a rematch from last year's national championship, and you have arguably two of the best collegiate basketball players going against each other. So that is WWE right now. Cody Rhodes, Roman Reigns, Rock, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Mm-hmm.
A normal, just regular NCAA 64 team tournament is AEW. I know I'm tuning in to watch basketball. I'm going to be entertained. It's going to be good. It's going to be fun. But that's what it is. So when you get the stars, you get the storyline. We off to the races.
Quick question: are you guys able to pinpoint exactly when AEW started to decline?
Yes.
And okay, when and why?
August 2022.
What we just took 45
Brawl
minutes
out.
talking about.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep. What we just took 45 minutes talking about.
That and that was on their side, and then Triple H being named COO, CCO.
Yeah, it was a lot of
content
different things.
Creator.
And
CCO.
I think one of the things is too,
Mhm.
it's like one of the things we've talked about, like, you know, AW was the hot new girl in town, right?
Mm-hmm.
And now she's not that new, and she's not that hot to some. For me, it's just that
AW put on a little weight.
Exactly, and what I don't want, because this is sometimes when you see people kind of
started talking back a little bit,
right?
Because
like thinking they shit didn't stink.
People say, "Oh, the only thing different is people's perception," but with the facts is people aren't shown to the arena. Like, you know, the Gas South Arena, Brandon. You know, when I first went there, jam packed. Every year after that, it was less and less people there. Right? There's fewer and fewer people going to the events. There's fewer and fewer people watching the shows, and they kind of started training their viewers to only show up for the big matches. And that's hard because you can't put on big matches every week, but what you can do is have a story flows to kind of get people involved. So I just hope they just don't rest on, oh, you know, WWE will cool down one day, and when they do, here we are.
But it is cyclical.
Right.
This is all cyclical. And you go in waves. It's the pendulum. What is it?
That's it.
It's boom. And when you take advantage of it when it's hot. And then when you're not hot, you just try not to sink. And you try to figure out things and just put a business plan together. Yep. Forget the rest.
And you keep trying, because there's going to be a point. We're going to be on a podcast and we're going to be talking about AEW from a perception perspective, or even somehow from a business perspective. Maybe they get more attendance in a certain market, right? They're going to be hotter than WWE at some point. It's going to happen. This is what happens in wrestling. Right now is just for AEW, WWE is the hottest it's ever been. Mm-hmm. So we're not talking just a hot period. We're talking a boom.
So your ex that you have all the love for got a BBL, and now she's like not tripping as much as she used to. So now you're like, all right, she knows all my secrets. She was my ride or die.
She said, I'm sorry for making
Wait, she apologized. Hold on. I realized what you just said.
I'm sorry for all that. But you know what? You all I care about. You all I care about, baby. And what do we do? That's typical guys. You come back out here looking like Zelina Vega on SmackDown. Can't turn that down. Yeah. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to say no. No, come on, Zelina. Let's do this.
No, let me say what AEW need to be the ex you left, right? And then they left you because they were comfortable. They left you all of a sudden, went on a diet, start working out 5 times a day. You know what I'm saying? Then you see him a couple years later, you're like, whoa, hold on.
What happened? What happened? Yeah, what
happened? Let's talk to you. What they can't be is that same girl that was comfortable, that's eating bonbons on her couch, eating Fruit Loops in a row. That's what AEW can't be. They can't be the same girl.
I never
eating bonbons
in a bonbon in the story anymore.
Eating bonbons, you know what I'm talking about? Eating and Fruit Loops in a row. That's what they can't be.
That is nuts. I was going to transition to Raw, but I think what we can do.
Talk about bonbons? What is a bonbon?
No, we're not talking about bonbons, sir.
I thought it was like Whoppers.
Are
they like Whoppers?
I have no idea. It just popped in my mind because I'm getting old and things in my mind are just popping up. What's
actually, I think it's vanilla ice cream with like chocolate coating is what.
No, it's not.
A little small. Okay.
Rhodesia,
ice cream
to the Breakfast Club. Yes, you'll see.
Okay, let me
now, I've had these French candies that are bonbons. My French teacher, Miss Guy, she used to sell these bonbons. I'm gonna send y'all a picture of them.
Was she cute?
And it's just regular candy.
Yeah, it's like chewables. Nah,
yeah, the bonbons that was a thing back when that was like hot in the 80s. It was ice cream.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, this one right here is a chocolate. When it says bonbon chocolate, no, they're all like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're gonna get. It's a bonbon
Boom.
chocolate. Yeah, there we go. It's a chocolate.
And now we quoting Forrest Gump.
They're
Jesus Christ. This usually
usually
happens about an
filled
hour and a half
with
into the pod.
liqueur and sweet alcoholic ingredients. Now, this actually might be for me, but not the sweet alcoholic. It says it's usually filled with liqueur or alcoholic ingredients. All right,
I might
let
want
me
to
give me
buy some bonbons.
Grab
There
your
you go.
purse, right?
Go
Grab
buy
your
some
purse.
bonbons right
Girl,
now.
get
E.
your purse.
Girl, get your purse.
While
There
we
we
talk
go.
about the Roman doc real quick, and then what we can do, then we'll just transition to Mania predictions, and we can flow the Raw talk into said preview and prediction of matches. Brandon, I know you watched. E, I know you did not get a chance to watch. Rhodesia, you watched. Brandon, I'll throw it to you first. Give me your thoughts about the, especially because you, once again, you weren't there during the blue contact Roman Reigns.
It was weird looking at him that way. It really was. Excuse me. I thought it was really good. I think I did text you guys that this was like Emmy worthy of a show. I haven't seen many of the WWE like biographies or whatever, but I thought this was nicely done. From what I understand, they hadn't done them like this before. Paul Heyman directed the doc. I thought it was a compelling story. Some of the stuff I didn't know. I had no idea he played college football. And signed with the Vikings.
Oh, so you didn't know that him and Calvin were teammates then either?
I didn't, and I started to text y'all, but it was kind of late. But yeah, I was like, "Oh, he played with Megatron." I told Marissa, she was like, "No way."
Yep.
But no, I thought that was dope. I knew about the leukemia, but I didn't know how or when, it hit him or whatever. So, I mean, barring leukemia, he might have been a superstar in the NFL. So I thought that was dope. And I didn't know how it reemerged in his career. And so I didn't know that he won the title and then had to give it right up, essentially, after discovering. So I thought that was kind of dope. And his brothers, I vaguely remember when they were wrestling. I think that might have been around like the tail end of when I stopped watching. So I thought that was kind of dope. What I wish they would have touched on a little bit more was that big dog era. I mean, I know they kind of glossed over it a little bit and talking about like how he didn't like it, but I think I've heard more in detail from you guys about how it was just a really rough time for him. And I just wish they would have talked a little bit more on like sort of what it was like during that time and sort of how he evolved into it. And it just seemed a little fast in that portion. But overall, really, really good. I really worried that this was like a eulogy.
Yep. Yep. He's taking words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, I really worried that this was like, this is our star. He's been on a great run. And although we couldn't make him into this big star that we wanted him to be, which might come with a face turn, but this is what we gave you. And he's been dominant and he's been great. But it felt like we're presenting this because we know, this run is coming to an end. So shut up. But I thought it was really good. I thought it was informative. I just think the way WWE produces stuff is really good when it comes to storytelling. And even if you aren't like a huge fan of wrestling, like the backstories of some of these people is really, really compelling. So I thought it was great.
Sadly enough, I also think he's gonna lose now Sunday. Just the timing with all of this and how that documentary was so well put together. It's almost like, what's up with this? Why is it timed this way? And I just feel like this is just their way of giving him his flowers now. It already came up that if he doesn't win, he's going to go away for a while. I think if he wins, he's still going to go away for a while. But they already said that he's going to go away for a while.
That's what he do.
Yeah, we're giving him his flowers now so that now when we see him at Mania, we can appreciate him for what he is. And Brandon, to your question about them elaborating more on the big dog area, because he hated that. Even the people around him was like, you could tell that wasn't him. But again, he's a student of the game and he's going to just try to keep getting better. He was a sponge. And I actually liked even having Seth on a couple of those segments talk about him too, because again, this was a unique way. I remember Matt had told me. I remember Matt told me that Paul Heyman had went on record saying that this was going to be like a different type of documentary, and it was still kind of in a work. You still was talking to the tribal chief Roman Reigns there, or listening to him talk, but it was still had some realness in there. So I really liked being able to see Seth talk about Roman, and I thought that Emmy, Grammy, EGOT, he could be EGOT winner. I don't even know what it is, what you call it. But just give him everything, because again, it's like he is still wrestling. He is still at the top right now. So it's already unique to see one of these documentaries, because usually the person is either died and dead and gone, or they've retired for years. So it was kind of weird kind of seeing this, but a hell of a documentary. And no one does it better than Paul Heyman. Like, I think about how much I love Roman. I throw my ones up and how much he feels like our cousin, but damn, if Paulie didn't get his nails dug into Roman and help cultivate him to be who he is today, we would be looking at something completely different. So he let the cat out the bag and said Roman's going to induct him into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Punk even mentioned it too. He said he thought it was something there, but a Roman career, and I hate to say it like that, right now he's going to go down as one of the best. And you have Paulie there, who's 25% responsible for him being there.
It was probably more than that. But if there was one thing that the doc showed, was just how much love they have for each other. When Roman was battling Brock, Paul was the advocate for Brock Lesnar. What'd you see backstage? Heyman talking to Roman.
That was fire.
Yeah.
Heyman talking to Roman. You did everything you were supposed to do. You remember that. This had nothing to do with you. That decision had nothing to do with you. So I thought that was great. The overall doc I thought was great, borderline excellent. It did feel like the first hour and 5 minutes was a shoot about Joe. And then we flipped to Roman Reigns' bloodline work.
I can see
It
that.
was still a great piece of work, right? I would suggest anybody watch if you like Roman at all. But it just felt funny. Like, okay, give me some more Joe around the bloodline piece. Let's talk about those segments and how much real life we put into those segments to make it work. And that was the kind of part that we missed. But no harm, no foul, right? I guess it is what it is. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. One thing that I did really pick up on was, by the time that show went off the air, I remember thinking, okay, so how is he a bad guy now? They fixed it on Monday night. But Sunday night, when that show went off the air, I was like, okay. And we can see how his face turn is going to work tremendously.
My last thing on that actually broke me down was when Jimmy started crying for him. That was just so powerful to me, because again, Jimmy and Jay was in the business, what, a good 5, 6, 7 years before he came up from FCW. So they were the leaders. He was little brother to them. And for him to say, like, Roman, Joe, I love him, that to me it almost broke me. I almost cried when I saw that part.
It was cool too, Brandon, back to your point about him not talking about the Big Dog era as much. He gave an interview years and years and years ago during that time period where he said, I just keep my mouth shut and hope to make a lot of money.
I think he said that in the doc as well.
Something like that.
That was kind of his, that was his perception. But then you fast forward when he's able to take control. And it's really interesting. I know Peter Rosenberg, who is backstage a lot at pay-per-views and such, he made a comment probably about 2 years ago, maybe, that what we see, the dichotomy and relationship we see on television between Roman and Heyman is really similar to what happens backstage. He was like, and of course he's not gonna give up a ton because then you're a stooge and you're not welcome in the locker room anymore. But gave a real quick story. He was backstage at a pay-per-view, and he said Roman and Heyman are talking. Heyman leaves, and he said he hears Heyman say, he goes and, I guess, I don't know if they're working on a segment or what, but Heyman is now going to talk to whoever he needs to talk to. And I guess they're talking, and Rosenberg said he heard Heyman say, oh, Roman's not going to like that. So we go from a man who was still on top then, him and Cena was sharing the bulk of the face of the WWE of, hey, I'm just trying to, man, keep my mouth shut and make some millions, to now, oh, that ain't going to work for what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
But look how far that got him. We wouldn't be having this conversation about him right now if he didn't take that change. And then just to watch Cena talk about him like that. When you have a GOAT talk about you.
Actually, that was the most
as the
powerful
GOAT.
thing of it. Yep.
Yeah.
He called him, he's the greatest of all time. Woo!
Yeah, that was the point I was going to get to, was the setup of that, to have some of your heaviest hitters in history of the business like speak that highly of him. I thought that was fire. I mean, Stone Cold, saying
Same.
he went through the fire.
Same.
Like, I thought that was dope.
Paulie said it. He's like, now, remember in the beginning, after like the beginning credits,
Yeah,
he's like, and what kind of lineup is that? I mean, he even said it. He got the best of the best to come out to do this Roman documentary. Bravo.
It was really good. Really, really good. I know you guys didn't get a chance to watch the Bray, so we won't talk much about that. I don't know how much everybody else has watched. I won't give away any spoilers. But what I will say is that is must watch.
I hear it was good. I don't think I saw spoilers, but I saw the buzz about the lantern, and that's all I'll say.
Man, Rhodesia was asleep. I woke her up, and I don't know. I'm like, you probably not gonna remember this in the morning, but watch this. Yeah, like I got goosebumps at the end. So yeah, there is something at the end there, and it's how they just built it up throughout the entire thing. But that was incredible. But just to be able to firsthand watch like his genius and his creativeness around everything he did, like they really broke down the Firefly Funhouse.
Okay.
Like, so when you walk away from watching it, you know exactly what it meant, what it was, the point of it, who those characters were, why those characters were there. Like, they gave it all up.
Okay.
Is
Alexa
it sad?
Bliss, like it was, man, it was the Firefly wasn't sad. The
whole documentary.
It was sad when he passed, of course.
Okay.
And with me, I've dealt with so much loss in like a short amount of time. Everybody's listening to know, my dad passed away about a month ago. My aunt, who was like one of my second or third favorite people in the world, passed away, about a week and a half ago. So I've dealt with a lot of death, but I can look at it from a happy place because of I've had him for so long, et cetera, et cetera. When somebody like Bray passes in his 30s and it's sudden, and then you look at he's got a 4-year-old kid, 5-year-old kid, that's what crushes you, right? Like, just like, fuck, man, like that sucks. So yeah, so that was rough. That was rough, and there was a really touching moment at the funeral where you just see Bray, or not Bray, but Bo and Roman hug. And the first thing I thought about was like, Roman knows exactly how that feels. His brother passed away. Right. So to be able to know what that feels like in the business, but that is, it's tremendous. It is must watch. So y'all got to watch it so we can talk about that as a unit soon. But everybody else, go watch it. Highly, highly, highly recommend. It's like 2 hours. Cool. So of course, carve out some time. But we run out of time because Mania is this weekend. And we got to watch SmackDown. We got to watch, by the time you guys hear this, Cody's going to be on the Ariel Helwani show. I'm sure it's not going to be as newsworthy as the Punk one was, but he'll give us something. Roman and Rock are going to be on the Tonight Show. They'll probably give us a little something, probably not much though. And then we're off to the races in Philadelphia. They got so much going on. That is a ton of content.
What a week.
Crazy,
like
right?
They do such a good job now, like building up to this week. You got Weezy F Baby.
There we go.
Coming.
Hey, man.
He about to release a new single too?
If the show don't start night one with Dreams and Nightmares, I'll be disappointed. That's going to be crazy.
So they said he's doing the cold open. So he's the one that's going to narrate the video package.
Oh, sweet.
So hopefully we hear Dreams and Nightmares, but for us, all hip-hop heads, to be able to see, to your point, Wayne on Raw, not advertised. Travis Scott a few weeks ago. Lil Uzi last year with the Usos. Meek. Like, but this is what it should be. And I think that also lends itself to why it's so popular too.
Yep.
Hip hop culture has been and always will be popular. Has been and always will be, outside of Latin music, the number one genre of music. So when you can gravitate to that and it's not forced, it's not nasty. We don't look at any of those just like, oh man, they're making fun of us or they're making fun of them. It just they're hot. So come one, come all, man. It is really, really cool. Rhodesia, you got the actually, we got to talk really quick. Let's just go over the top 3 matches for NXT. Brandon, I know you watch a little bit, so let's go over that. I'm not sure last time you watched the full episode.
You know what I like.
We all
on
should
NXT.
probably know these top 3 matches. What are the top 3 matches, Rhodesia?
So what I'm going to call as the top 3 matches is we have the NXT Championship with Ilya and Tony D'Angelo.
Okay, stop right there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know the main event is Trick and Mello.
Yep.
So Ilya is going against Tony D'Angelo.
Against the family, right? Isn't that what they call the family? Okay, so let's just do this real quick.
Like that,
let's just do a quick rundown. So, Brandon, you know how it is. Who do you want to win? So between Ilya Dragunov and Tony D'Angelo for the NXT World Championship.
We'll go Ilya. I don't know much about Tony D'Angelo, but I don't feel like he's a big enough star. I mean, I know who he is, but I don't think he feel like he's a big enough star right now to carry the brand. Ilya will drop it to somebody else like Trick or something soon. So I'll go Ilya.
Ditto.
Pass.
Matt.
I'm going Ilya just because it's not the main event. So I don't think you put the title on somebody else and that's not the last thing we see Mania weekend. So Tony D'Angelo, Brandon, he's like the one guy from NXT 2.0 when it first started that hasn't gotten to that next spot yet. Right? So like he's from the Carmelo, Bron Breakker, Tiffany Stratton, Nucleus Ball.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think he got hurt for a little bit.
I think so too.
So he's been there putting in work for a long time. But yeah, give me Ilya. They're high on Ilya. Word is this week that when he gets caught up to the main roster, is going to be very similar to Gunther's push. So
pass.
When he does go,
I got your first passy.
Yeah. So give me Ilya.
All right. Next match. Which one? I'm actually looking forward to. I kind of like the build on this one. The NXT Women's Championship. We have Lyra Valkyrie versus Roxanne Perez. Brandon, who do you want to win?
Roxanne Perez, fine ass.
It is. Host one personal friend of the TFW podcast.
You sure is.
Roxanne.
Such a sweetheart.
I ain't seen you in a year.
I said the most cheesiest line to her, and I'm like, I can't believe I said that out loud. But anyways, so
what was
this
the
one
line?
is.
You can't do that.
So we was buying her a drink, and she said, "I want sex on the beach," and I just blushed and laughed at her.
You want sex on the beach?
There's this was in LA, right? There was
LA. Yeah.
Malibu, Huntington. I know all the beaches. Y'all should have went.
I was like, "Oh my god, that was so weird. So sorry." I mean, she's old enough to be my daughter.
Maybe didn't clam up like that. Like seriously.
No, but she's old enough to. She's old enough to be my daughter. Okay. So
terrible wingman.
Terrible wingman.
I don't know about that. Old enough to be your daughter.
Yes.
I don't know about that.
Yes. Again, you think I'm a kindergartner, but no, she could be my daughter. Anyways, I'm gonna say I want Roxanne to win, but I also want her to be called up. I don't know if there's any space for her right now on the main card, but I think Lyra did a great job holding that title. Give it to Roxanne.
I like Lyra. I think she did a great job with the championship. I like that she dresses up when she's not in the ring, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't just see her and her little wrestling gear she has, like, and she's
a champion.
I like her style. Yeah, it's kind of it's kind of like a quasi business casual for a female. Very sexy looking. A lot of women.
She's not. Me.
Yeah, she's not always showing the cheeks all the time, right?
Yeah,
I like that about her. I also like Roxanne. I don't think this version of Roxanne is there yet. Like this heel character, I think she's still figuring out. She's still getting there. I don't think it's there enough for the main roster. Not on the promo, not just from character work. In the ring, she can go, right? Like we all know that in the ring she can go. But as far as a winner, man, see, as you know, with the other match, I don't care about either one of those guys, but I like both of these two.
You made that clear. You said
Yeah, I
pass
like
twice.
both of them, and I don't know who I want to win over the other. I guess if I had to pick one, I guess maybe Laura, so we can continue to see Roxanne growing in character, right? To take the next stage. Maybe the setback will help her continue to grow. I don't know.
Okay, Lyra.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I
and
mean,
then
this one is kind of one of those where both, right? Like, can we
Okay.
just cut the championship and give one to the one and the other half to another? That's kind of how I feel on this one. Like, same Roxanne. There's another one report comes out that, of course, they're high on her and they want her on the main roster. My thing is, like, don't call her up until there's a spot for her.
That's
Not
Right.
to say there's not one now,
exactly.
but don't
And
call
not
her
just a
up
spot,
have
but
her
a
work
story.
matches.
Yep.
Yeah.
A story
Yes.
for her,
Story.
Mhm.
Yeah.
right?
Yep. So this is a cheat answer, but this is my legit answer. If there's a story for her right now, have her lose so she can go to
Mhm.
Raw or SmackDown. If there is no story, put the belt on her.
All right. And so this is where everybody's going to be tuning in at noon on Saturday. The main event of Stand and Deliver, the real Stand and Deliver. We have Trick Williams versus Carmelo. Who do you want to win? And just thoughts on this match, because this is the one I don't mind taking time talking
have
about.
the same answer here.
I think I'm ready to see Trick kind of catapult into the universe with a win, so Carmelo can kind of get caught up and do whatever he gonna do. Trick is a star. I think we agree that when he gets to the main roster, he'll probably surpass Carmelo. At least that's what I think anyway. So yeah, give me Trick.
Ditto.
Let me ask you guys a question. Do you think Trick Williams is who you guys want Tez to be?
No. Tez to me is this.
That's a good question.
This guy who has aura. He's swagger. He looks fine. He dresses. I don't want to say like metrosexual, but he has this swagger about him that he's sexy.
Tez?
Tez. Yeah, my Tez.
Okay.
But Trick, I don't feel that way about Trick. I think of Trick of like this raw, hard hitting dude. Where my Tez has swagger and finesse about him. So one is like a finesse, and Trick is more like this.
That's a really good question, E. I think I told y'all before. I see Tez as a heel, but very much Rick Martel, Ravishing Rick Rude, or the Big Valboski. Like, given what Rhodesia just said, no Diddy, he's a metrosexual kind of attractive dude that kind of got it going together or whatever. And yeah, I think he can embrace that and kind of take that head on and like really draw heat from being arrogant and conceited and
Fine, exact conceited. Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
You are about 20 minutes early on one of my predictions for Mania with that. So we'll talk about that. But I see coming out of their match and the subsequent Friday night after that. But that's a great question. E, is that what I want Montez to be? No. But what I will say is take Montez out of it. I think Trick has a super high ceiling. I also think he has a ways to go to get to that ceiling, which is completely fine. But I think his ceiling is super, super high. And I think that, which I'm so proud of these guys. Two black guys main eventing a takeover.
Let's go.
WrestleMania week. They know all eyes are going to be on them. Trick is by far the hottest wrestler in NXT right now. Melo knows this. Melo is going to do everything in his power to make Trick look like $1 trillion in that match. I think Melo also knows too, this potentially could be his last match in NXT. He wants to go out with a bang. I am very high on this match, but I think Trick wins. And then Brandon, you said earlier, maybe we get a rematch with Ilya and you put the belt on Trick. I think that highly of him, but he's him. Right now he is him. We'll see if it continues because Melo was him a year ago or so when him and Trick were really running hard as heels. And then I think he's kind of just like stunned a little bit. That's why I can't wait till he goes to the main roster to see what he does. But I'm really, really high on Trick right now.
Same. Really high on Trick. Because, I think when I see Trick, I see a guy who can speak very well. He's charismatic. He has a glow to him. I know Rhodesia doesn't think he's a pretty boy. Because, he's more of like a rough dude.
But he's not a pretty
like
boy.
me, right?
Trick to me.
Yeah, no, but he's more like a rough dude like me. I had the rough thing going back in my day. You know what I'm saying? So I understand what he's trying to say. He got that rough thing going. But he dresses really well. He talks pretty well. He has a glow, right? And he has so much personality. I think once he gets to the main roster, just that alone is gonna have him above a lot of guys on that roster. Actually, to be honest with you, Matt, you mentioned Brian Breaker being over Cody Rhodes in 2 years in some kind of way. I think that Trick has a higher ceiling than Brian, to be honest with you.
Oh, I don't. I think the reason why, and this is what Trick's gonna have to work on. So we saw Trick really blow up when his theme song took off, started breaking off of Carmelo, which was an incredible story for both of them. Mm-hmm. Then they finally broke off, and now we're at that part. So now we need to see, because we've seen Brian do everything. We've seen Brian as a face, as a heel, comedy character, badass. He's checked every single box, right? For Trick, now it's going to be, okay, once you get through this grudge match with Carmelo, who is arguably as big, or in some people's eyes, bigger than you, okay, now if we get the title, now how does that look on week-to-week television? Because the hole in his game is a little bit of his promo style. His promo style may not work on a week-to-week basis when he is rivaling somebody that is not at his level.
I think that's fair, and I think that's why you cook him for the next year.
Yep.
To get him ready.
You think Brian's promo ability is higher than Trick right now?
No, but I think he is such a ferocious badass that we always say it. Put him with Heyman, he's out of here. He's out of here.
What do you guys think of?
And I think they're going to make sure of that too, because I think they have him pegged as the next guy.
Not with a name called Brian Breaker, man. I mean, Roman Reigns was able to kind of rise above that, but I don't know about Brian Breaker.
That name still bothers you?
I love that name.
I like it, man. Brian,
I'm over it now.
Brian, I don't like. Well, no, actually, he created that name. I thought that was definitely had to be a Vince thing. He said he came up with that name.
They typically pick it. Now they get a list of names that they pick from,
right?
But yeah, they typically pick it. Like I hated it when I first heard it. I was like, why can't he just be Steiner? That is his name.
Well, sure, yeah.
Now I'm over it. Now, like Brian Breaker,
that's like Val Venus.
Val Venus was great.
Yeah, what you talking about?
Oh no,
she is killing. That's what I'm talking about. Hurry up.
You was around
me right now. You know what it is.
I know I'm a kindergartner, but
she calling me.
I mentioned chocolate cake. Now all of a sudden we doing strange things on the pie.
You was also talking about your wife's cake too. That wasn't just regular chocolate cake.
Yeah, no, you brought up the chocolate cake and your wife. So don't do that.
We was ready to get rid of beefcake.
I'm just saying what I'm saying, man. I'm just saying what I'm saying. We need to keep moving so I can get that cake.
Are you guys all watching TakeOver?
Sure.
Yes, I am. I didn't know if I worked or not. Yeah, I'm more. Yeah.
Is anybody any of the ladies I like on the card?
Well, Roxanne is, of course. We talked about that one, and then I'm not sure.
What about Jada Parker? Is that who we like?
No, she's not on Taker yet.
That's who y'all like.
I'm not watching.
That's what every man likes.
She might be on
Jada Parker, Miss Parker. Hey there,
I'm definitely committed to seeing that main event because I'm definitely really high on Carmelo and Trick. But for the rest of the card, it's just the only problem with NXT is this victim has too much wrestling on right now. I can't get to it. I can't get to it the way I want to get to it. But I've tried to watch it the other night, getting ready for work. But it's definitely a good show. But I'm definitely going to watch the main event.
Okay.
Not sure about the rest of the card.
So let's all just make sure we watch the main event so then we can speak on it on the night one post show too.
Gotcha. Baron and Braun defending their tag titles?
Yeah. Okay. And actually, we'll find out on NXT. Of course, we're recording during NXT, so we'll find out who they're fighting. But and once again, the assumption is they drop the titles so Braun can fully start his run. You know, it would be fun for me if they drop the titles, Braun is caught up, and then Corbin follows him to the main roster and they feud. And that's the first feud for a few months.
Good observation. Because I was going to ask, how do y'all feel about a baked-in feud with Carmelo and Braun, given that they're both up there? But I like that idea.
Yeah, and I think that one is one of those Orton Cena type feuds from 15 years ago.
They're
That's
always
a big feud
parallel with each
for
other. Yeah.
decades to come. Yeah, so
Mhm.
like, let's revisit that when they both really know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They've had a chance to work with the best of the best on the main roster, and then let's get them back
They
together.
kind of have to reintroduce Corbin to that audience because, prior to him going out in NXT, he was a joke and he was losing all the time.
Right.
And he's been at NXT for almost over a year now. So they would kind of have to reintroduce him to make him a threat that will make the story worthwhile to watch, right? You got a brand new, Braun Breaker, then you got kind of a cold, Baron Corbin coming up. I feel like they have to do something maybe together to kind of heat both of those guys up for an eventual feud. I don't know if putting him in a match with him is going to be what that guy needs. I think, like, what I would see, like, a Braun Breaker continue to be heel. I'd see him in a feud with a Chad Gable. Somebody can go in the ring and bring out some really good matches out of him.
Those would be
right?
great
Somebody
matches.
who can sell and make him look like a beast in that ring. Or shoot, what about a Ricochet, man? Ricochet, he bounced all over the ring for a guy like that. I mean, I think guys like that is who I want to see him in the ring with.
Too.
Not somebody with a
heat him up.
Yeah, not somebody who's kind of a slow power. It'd be kind of like a monster versus monster match. It's going to be kind of slow. Give me somebody who could bounce around for Brian.
Mm-hmm.
So then, after we watch that incredible main event, which may be one of the matches of the weekend, we got night one WrestleMania.
Let's go.
Let's
start with of course, let's end with the tag match.
Of course.
So let's start with whatever.
I got this.
Yeah.
I got this. So this is
let me try.
Yeah, let me cook over here. Let me cook.
Right. Look, she's saying that she's about to foobar something right now. Go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna foobar. So far, these are the matches that have been announced. So we'll just start, I guess, at the bottom. We have Rey Mysterio, Dragon Lee versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Well, again, we'll do it. Who do you want to win? And we keep it moving. And if you want to say why, I'll go last. I'll let y'all go first.
Give me Santos and Dom. No reason. I just like the heat.
Eshaun?
Yeah, give me Santos and Dom.
Matt?
Easily.
So I'll just be different. Let's go with Ray and Dragon Lee.
No, man. I need this heel turn from Carlito.
Yeah.
That's what I need.
Okay.
Yeah. It's interesting that they came with this match, though, because it felt like it came out of nowhere.
Nowhere.
I wonder what fell through.
Yeah.
Just because it feels like something fell through, like all of a sudden now, well, we know what fell through. I am assuming if Dom was supposed to work Brock at Elimination Chamber, not that he was going to rematch him at WrestleMania, but they had a different trajectory for Dom. It's just out of nowhere, him feuding with his dad again. It's like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
But this could be Ray's last WrestleMania. So it could be.
It won't be.
If you remember 2 years ago, he said he only had 2 years left.
You lying.
I know.
He did that to get Dom a new contract.
That's before the stem cells, right?
Yep.
I'm gonna put that on right before the last one. Okay, so
I
let's
can
go.
tell you though, I don't care about this match. Though there's like 3 matches, I think, total that's announced. I think they still are going to announce one more match. But I think there's 3 matches right now that were announced for the entire weekend that it's probably gonna be a good match, cool, but there was just like no emotional investment for me.
Yeah.
And this is one of them.
See, this is when you guys are trying to like cast me as like this women hater for some reason, for some weird energy you guys had on that. But this is a Boo Boo Pee Pee match.
I'm not even about to address that first part of what you just said there.
Right.
Like seriously, Eshaun, like that doesn't even deserve any of my energy. Let's move on to the next one. We're going to go to the 6-pack ladder match for the undisputed WWE Tag Championships. We have the Judgment Day versus Austin.
Go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead. No, you know who you want to win, so go ahead.
No, I don't. But is it for the undisputed? Because if I understand correctly,
it is not for the undisputed.
Now, why would it say it on here?
Both titles are on the line. The match is not over until both titles are down. And so this is their way. They're going to split the titles, which I am finally.
Well, good.
Thank you, WWE. About damn time. So yes, we are getting these titles split. after
So
this match.
when one team win, does it become a 5-pack match? Because if I win, my team, we out of there. I'm not.
I do wonder. So that you don't have to assume the finish is going to have to be like at the same time.
Yeah.
So that doesn't happen because you're right. Like that's about as dumb as Damian Priest not cashing in his Money in the Bank contract. Now, of course, we talking storyline. We talking kayfabe. Damian Priest is the dumbest wrestler in the history of wrestling.
In life.
In the history of wrestling, you have Seth Rollins dead to rights, laid out. There is no way Roman and Rock are going to stop you from taking his title.
Because I would cash in on him as a woman. I would cash in my Money in the Bank on Seth.
So as much crap as I give AEW for their holes in some of their storylines, this has been by far god-awful. God-awful. They have not protected Damian Priest somehow, some way better. You could have had him leave and they could have said, hey, they're going out with the LWO to try to do some type of like bonding or something like that. He leaves the arena. But to not explain that, horrendous.
Okay, so am I saying who are the 6-pack?
Yes, we got Judgment Day. Who else?
We have Awesome Truth. We have DIY, New Day, and New Catch Republic, and A-Town Down Under.
Is that what they go by?
Yeah.
That's terrible.
I thought it's kind of cheesy, but cute. So are we going to assume that we're going to get 2 champions by the end of the night?
Well, I mean,
so
of
we
course,
get to
you
pick
book it however
one-on-one?
you want to book it. I'm going to book it the way I see fit. I got 2 coming out by the end of the night.
All right, so we got Brandon E, Matt, then Rhodesia. Let's go. Who you want to win?
Give me Awesome Truth because I love R-Truth. Dude is great. And then I think the other ones, I would go with New Catch Republic.
It's not bad at all.
I'm keeping those titles together, and I'm going to debut a new championship at WrestleMania Backlash. And I think I would like to go with A-Town Down Under. Then you have a Logan Paul, you have those 2 guys together, and you have more shenanigans.
I'm liking that.
I like that.
I'm taking 1-1. I got A-Town Down Under, and I have Awesome Truth. That pushes the Judgment Day story forward. And to your point, if they want to continue the Logan Paul piece, imagine those jackasses together for 3-4 months.
Yeah.
I'm going to say at the end of the day, only one tag team will prevail. It's going to be A-Town Down Under.
I'm gonna be pissed.
But let me tell you though, let me tell you how this is going to play out, because we had this question a couple weeks ago on our show. Our truth is, I guess, so is both titles have to happen. Our truth is going to grab one. Somehow he's going to get confused and then hand over that title before he gets on the mat to somebody else in A-Town Down Under. And that's how they end up winning.
My bad.
Yeah, my bad. So it's going to end with
Really?
A-Town Down Under.
I can see that.
Yeah.
And I do think this match is going to be fantastic.
It's going to be fun.
should be
A
fun.
lot of fun.
This is another one that I'm not emotionally invested in.
I am
of
not.
course, like how can you be like in a 6-pack? Well, I guess you still could, but
This will be a food run match for me. I'll come back by the end of the match, see the finish.
What
so
makes
far,
it great?
You've missed the entire WrestleMania so far. Okay,
Right.
Let's keep it going.
You can watch it.
I'll be fully empty for the rest of the match. I'll be good.
No,
for
actually,
the
during
rest
this
of the
time,
show.
he'll be watching Trick and Mello.
There we go.
Like, did y'all see that? Like, dude, yeah, that match happened.
I'll be full and empty.
What's the next match?
Let's move on. Let's go on to now.
We get to nitty gritty now.
Let's go to the 6-woman, 3, I guess, tag match. Now. We have Bianca Belair, Naomi, and I almost said Trinity. Jesus, and Jay Cargill and Damage Control.
We all know who winning this. I wouldn't be
Give
surprised
me the
if it's
queens.
squash.
Give me the queens.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's squash.
I'm going Dakota Kai.
You a lie.
And Kabuki Warriors.
He couldn't even get it out right.
Let's go. Let's go.
All right, Hill E.
And here's the nice thing. By the time this match, I'm fully invested. I'm full. I'm well relieved, and I'm here for every moment of it. And then here's what's going to happen: Dakota Kai is going to pin Jay Cargill.
Get out of here.
All right, Matt.
That would be the worst. I would think you work for AEW booking if that happens. Of course, give me the queens.
Same here, queens. All right, we move on to the Intercontinental Championship. Gunther versus Sami Zayn. I'm assuming will we have Chad Gable in his corner, Who knows? Maybe give him a pep talk before he goes out there. Or hey, he might interfere in the match. Let's see who y'all got. Who do y'all want to win?
I would love interference from Chad Gable. Give me Gunther because Sammy is a bitch.
Dog, come on now, yo.
Give me Gunther.
Wait, okay, before
All
you
day.
go, you gotta elaborate why you just call my man Sammy the bitch word.
The beginning of that damn segment the other on Monday night.
It was a Rocky reenactment, man. It was a Rocky reenactment. We've never called Sylvester Stallone Rocky Balboa a bitch. We just say he was an underdog.
Rocky is Rocky.
He's
I don't know, man. Sammy just don't do it for me, man. I don't like this version of Sammy. This woe is me dude is just ain't getting it for me. So give me Gunther. Hopefully in a squash.
Eshaun?
Give me Gunther with a squash.
Wow.
And then Chad Gable enters the ring,
Mm-hmm.
hands on hip, head shaking.
Shoosh.
He goes to walk out of the ring, puts his hands back on his hips, looks back at him with more disappointment, and shakes his head further. On to the next match.
Man, I was 100% sure Gunther was going to win up to, and that's the whole point of go home shows. That is why it was mission accomplished this past Monday on Raw because of that. Now I'm not so 100% sure. I still have Chad Gable as the one to take the belt off of Gunther. I still go back to, and they can change, of course, but you say, I swear to God, I'm taking that belt from Gunther. I consider Chad Gable, like, he knows you don't go against guy. Like, you don't say swear to God.
Yeah.
Right? He looks like one of those that understands that you just don't say that. So I got to stick with it. I think this is going to be one of the best matches of the weekend, for sure. So it won't be a squash. I think the hope spot we get out of this match, that 2.9999999 and Gunther kicks out, will have that crowd erupt. Something that we may not have seen yet on night one. But I'm still going to go Gunther, and I don't think there's money in a Chad Gable heel turn. I've seen that a lot, like turn him heel. I think he should be the one that takes it from Gunther. So give me Gunther.
Same here. I think Gunther is going to win. I think we will see Chad, but not so much maybe in his comical state. More, I've been liking, up until the video package, I've been liking this more serious looking Chad. So I think we might see him, how we will see him. I don't think he's going to actually interfere in the match. But I say Gunther is going to win. Same way, because Chad is going to be the holder of it and take it off. Derobe him is what I used to say. So derobe him.
And has Chad just said F the Alpha Academy?
Yeah, he's over it.
Yeah.
I think I got time for them losers. Man, when Candice LeRae told her, you lost to Maxine Dupree, man, I laughed so damn hard. That was a shoot if I've ever heard one.
Alrighty, so we move on to our last three. Wow, night one. Okay. The World Women's Heavyweight Championship. We have Rhea Ripley versus Becky Lynch. Who do you want to win?
Give me Rhea.
Mommy always is on top.
Yeah, I don't see. Yeah, it just doesn't feel the time for Rhea to lose it. And they can run this back. To me, this is one of the matches that got rematch written all over it.
Yeah.
And they got more stadiums to fill this summer and spring. So give me Rhea.
To be different, I'll go with Becky. Rhea, I think the Judgment Day is going to implode. So let's say Becky's going to win it.
And I think we get a significant character change from Becky. And that may just be a heel turn, but I think it's time.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't nothing else left for her to do as a face. Okay, so like even if she wins, okay,
can
like,
she sell being a heel though?
Man, yeah, when she was,
I think so.
She can.
She's a heel in my heart. So
really?
That's nuts. And we haven't seen her as a heel under the Triple H regime yet.
She's had a heel run.
We saw big time Bex. I don't care who was under, man. It wasn't that good.
I don't know.
Yeah,
She's just
I'll
hard to
Big
believe.
time Bex again.
When she was on Ariel's show, like going after Rhea, it just didn't feel good to me.
Oh, you mean when she? Okay, got it. Yeah. It's staged. It's work.
I
people wanna
know,
buy
but even
pay-per-view.
still,
It was it was much better on Raw than it was on Ariel's show. It was just it was a miss
yeah.
on there. Yeah, it just wasn't good. But I mean, I think that she needs, because you look at it and you just say, okay, so if she was to win that championship, who are her next feuds? It doesn't feel like it's Rhea's time to lose the belt yet.
Nope.
Alrighty, so now we move on to the bloodline. We have Jay and Jimmy Uso. This is when I think all hell is about to start breaking loose. This is like, boom. This is the beginning of chaos. We have Jay and Jimmy.
And we're going to assume this has to be the first match on the show, right?
I'm thinking so.
When you guys start out of all these matches, because all we have left on night one is the tag match. Isn't it? If you don't start it with Gunther and Sammy, this is the match to start it with, right?
Yeah, you got Jay, get that crowd hype, get them waving.
Oh boy,
absolutely.
Yep.
Give me Jay. I think he's just too hot right now. I think there's a lot of vested in him in his run. So give me Jay. I think he wins, and Philly goes crazy.
What if like all the heels win?
It'd be great.
For until we get to the last one, and we get that face win from Cody, right? Until we get to that face, right? So now finally everyone's cheering because all the heels have been winning, and we finally get the mega heel Roman Reigns finally taking that 3-second tan, and Cody rising his hands. I think that'd be fantastic.
Terrible idea.
But I go. I mean, I don't see in the world where Jimmy can win this.
You know what's interesting about this match, though? Like, I know people have talked about the build, but for this to be the city of brotherly love, there should have been. I know they're not main event in the show or titles not on the line.
I agree.
But
I agree.
Given that it's the city of brotherly love, there should have been a whole lot
more on it, right?
Surrounded by that. Like, that story should have been like they should have got a vignette coming back from a commercial break, talking shit about each other or something like that.
And I think, though, once again, the pivot. So I had talked about it a week ago. The pivot has worked excellent for everybody but Roman.
Mm-hmm.
I should have included Jimmy and Jay in that because that's what it is. Because if you don't have Rock taking up a third of the TV time, by far he should. Yeah. But if we're not telling that story and then doing this tag match, I think we do get all that.
Yeah.
With Jimmy and Jay, we don't get a 45-second promo to set the match up, and then a backstage promo to accept the match. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get some really good pieces to it. But I think
they waited too late to announce it, and had they announced it earlier, we could have got like some kind of video about we grew up together, like videos of them wrestling each other or fighting each other as kids, and we're from the same womb. Yeah, however they write it, but we could have got more.
The story is loose, though. The story is loose, and there's definitely time on Raw for them to tell. I know the Ricochet matches have been good, right? But if we had a strong story, I would have much rather seen more storytelling and promo back and forth with Jay and Jimmy versus those matches that kind of don't mean anything to Mania. Like, right? So there was space for them to kind of do their thing. I just don't think the story's been there for.
Yeah.
I think I know you weren't picking on Ricochet, but I think there's a reason for heating up Ricochet, and I think it may actually even have to do with Mania Night 2. So we can talk about that when we get there. But give me Jimmy. I think everything is set up to stack everything up against the faces. So give me Jimmy somehow, some way beating Jay. Jay ain't gonna lose nothing from beating Jimmy, but Jimmy gets a whole lot from beating Jay. And it should be, of course, with Solo interference. Because don't forget, Friday night, we have Jay versus Solo on SmackDown. So
I was going to say Jimmy. I think I'm going to go with Jay. You're right. Jay can't afford to lose this match. He won SummerSlam. Oh my God, I'm losing. I'm getting tired here. Sorry.
Told you.
Yep.
Told you. I tried to help you out about 10 minutes ago. And what I say, I said, don't worry. I know.
Well, because we're almost at 2 hours already.
And like, you
Jeez.
no, actually, we're an hour and 39 minutes.
Oh
You
my
act like we haven't
God,
done
jeez Louise.
2
Okay.
hour plus pods
Okay.
yet. It's fine though,
Okay.
Rhodesia. It's
Anyways,
fine. You need me to take care of night 2 for you?
Nope. Hell
You
no.
need me take it. You need me to take it
I don't
over?
need nobody to do any of my jobs. Okay. So we're gonna go with Jay. All right, now we're gonna go to the main event of night 1, when we get the tag match of one time, The Rock and Roman Reigns, Tribal Chief.
We are
versus-
all aligned on this. No
First,
way.
it's
There's
Cody
no way in the world
Rhodes
anybody
and
has
Seth
Cody and Seth winning
Rollins.
this match. Impossible.
Rock and Roman, give me bloodline rules so we can get the chaos.
Eshaun.
Cody Rhodes pins The Rock first. Big E makes his return. And then Cody Rhodes pins Roman Reigns, not for a 3 count, but just like Big E back in the day, he needed 5.
Man, he's reaching here.
He pins about 5 times. 1,
all
2, 3, 4, 5. End of the show. Let's keep rolling, y'all.
Like for real.
So you have okay. So now you of course that's what you want to happen. What do you think's happening? You think Cody's actually pinning Rock night 1?
Oh no, I'm just trying to be different and being difficult in the
No, I get it.
situation.
But I'm saying, no, that's a hell of a story, though. That's a hell of a story. So now, like, let's unpack this real quick. So this is where we can talk about Raw. I think a lot of people thought, as I did, I'm not gonna lie, I was like, okay, Cody's gonna get his get back in the last segment. Cody didn't get his get back.
Look at you now, boy.
So
Yeah.
there is a world where Cody does pin The Rock, because that is the match we all want to see at this point. And then that makes night 2 a regular straight up match. And we still get those shenanigans. Those shenanigans just don't hit inside the ring, maybe, potentially.
Knock out the ref. Knock out
There's
the
a
ref.
world for that. And there's also a world where I know what I said, but I'm The Rock. I'm the final boss. I make these rules.
So who
There's
you
a
picking?
world for that.
Who
So
you
that's why
picking?
I asked you, E, like if you're really going that way or not, because you could tell that story. And then, oh my God, and Rock loses to Cody, he is going to be furious come
Mhm.
night 2. And so is Roman Reigns. And then
Yeah.
you could tell that story. I don't think it's going to happen.
So
I
who
think
you
they're going to
picking?
continue to
Roman
beat
win.
down Cody like a wet dog until he eventually wins.
Okay. So I'm going Rock and Roman winning night 1.
Final answer?
Yes.
All right. My big bold prediction that I did not want to happen, but could possibly happen. I think Cody pins Rock. And we have no bloodline rules the following night. And it's Cody versus Roman 1-on-1.
If that happened, I'm turning into an AEW correspondent. Like,
So there is a world then. Come next week, E will be covering Ring of Honor and AEW because Roman beats Cody night 2, and you will also be covering AEW. I like that.
Yeah,
All right,
that's
we're gonna
good.
cut them all.
That's good.
So okay, so while we're here, let's talk real quick about Raw. What'd you guys think about the opening segment, with that godly Rock entrance, and then the final segment where they got even more heat on Seth and Cody?
them, I think I'll take some chops from Gunther. Getting my ass beat with them belts that they across my back? No. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
I take the chops too. Man,
I'm not doing it.
Roman was whipping everybody. Roman was trying to whip the ref too. Did you see that toward the end of the night? He was trying to whip everybody.
I think Rock is losing his shit because when he get into this character, he's going ham, dude.
Actually, your exact words is that he's a psychopath because
He is a psychopath. This
he's
mother,
crazy dude.
he is working 3 characters right now.
Papa Tui.
Yeah,
Why he's about to induct his grandma into the Hall of Fame?
I know.
But shout out to that too. Well
He is a
deserved.
nutcase.
Of course, he's in the
Yeah,
spot to be able to do that. But think about the weekend he's about to have. Right,
Yeah.
wasn't even dealing with wrestling 4 months ago, and he's got a huge weekend. It was funny. I don't know if you guys saw that video. backstage. They got coming back to Gorilla, and they got Roman coming in, and they got Solo, and they got Heyman, and Heyman counts Roman down or Rock down, and then Rock just looks at camera, and he was like, "Fuck them." I was like, man, he is having the time of his life right now.
He is.
Was it too much to see Cody come back, the roof blows off of Barclays, and still gets beat down? Would you feel like, okay, they doing Cody dirty, or you were like, all right, this is where he needs to be?
Exactly what it needs to be. You want to fight? You want to see him fight from underneath, right?
Mm-hmm.
And there you go.
What he's doing.
I
got super scared when Roman tripped over the top of the announce table. I was like, oh my God, like this is the last thing that we need is an injury. So that did scare me for a second.
I do want to just real quick peek behind the curtain type convo with just how when you got pros that know what they're doing, you're going to get the desired result. Rock comes out first segment, think he's the biggest face in the territory, right? Kills it. Comes out at the end, throws Jay out, another massive pop. Roman shows his face. Crowd is into it. The match is over at they're done doing their business at 10:56 Eastern time. They got 4 more minutes.
Roman goes.
Yep. And what do? More heat. And what do? More heat. And by the time they're done with that heat, Rocky sucks chants come, and Roman's getting booed. And I was like, perfect. That's how you do it. If they would have not done that last 4 minutes, they leave damn near getting cheered.
Well, in the opening segment, which was like 36, 37 minutes, they were cheering Rocky.
Yep.
Yeah.
I just love that. Once again, when you got people that know how this thing works and how to get the reaction that you need to get to where you need to go, and they all do. Seth, Cody, Rock, Roman, they all know what they're doing. Heyman, of course, throw him in there. I just thought that was really, really cool and something that maybe people weren't talking about much. When you continue to get that heat, it's like, hey, it was fun at first. Now it's like, all right, man, that's a little, all right, it's a little too much. All right, man, that's too much. And then those boos start coming.
Yeah. I love that Rock showed those kids videos at the beginning.
Loved it. Loved it. I was waiting for the E video to pop up, but I guess I didn't get that one. So real quick before we move off of night 1, Eternal, our guy has sent us a question on Twitter. He just said, I got a yay or nay question. What if Sammy does beat Gunther? Chad Gable goes in the ring to congratulate him just to turn on him. It should have been me moment. And I said, what do you think? He said, I like the idea. If Sammy does win, he got opponents already lined up. Bronson Reed, Chad Gable, any member of the Judgment Day, Ricochet, Andrade. It would be very poetic if he lost it to Jay. I just don't see Sammy holding it for that long. So yay or nay? Would you be good with Sammy actually beating Gunther and then Gable turning heel because this was supposed to be my moment and you took it from me?
I go nay, because when Gunther loses this, it needs a little more pomp and circumstances. It needs to be a little bit more about him. However that will look, but nay.
I like that. I'm nay too. Unless the plan is a big push for him for one of the top titles, then
right.
Okay, but
for who?
No,
for Gunther?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't see a big heel character in Chad, to be honest with you. So I'm gonna go nay.
Only reason why I'm gonna go nay is because when Gunther loses it, that should be the end of this whatever story we're telling in the ring. That's the only reason. I actually love that idea because now you already got a ready-made feud just that quick for. Like, I still think Chad is the one to take it off of him, but yeah, if it wasn't for this 2-year run that Gunther's on, I'd be like, that's actually a pretty good idea. But yeah, I don't think they'll go with that. That's a good one. Last thing from night 1, and I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts just real quick. Becky Lynch gave a quote. She said, if I quit tomorrow, I am still the greatest woman to have ever done it. I'm going to just take that down to the 4 horsewomen. Is Becky Lynch the best horsewoman in that group? Just yes or no?
Nay. No pun intended. Nay.
Who is? Who is?
That wasn't the question. The question was yay or nay.
I know.
I'm putting Charlotte.
but
I'm
who
putting
is?
Charlotte over Becky
Mm-hmm.
personally.
Yeah, I mean, based on just what I know, yeah, I would go with Charlotte.
That's a tough one though.
Mm-hmm.
Because I would say in the past 3 or 4 years, I would take Becky. I think she's been more interesting. I think Charlotte got stale a little while ago. I'm not sure what it is because she's great. She looks great. She's good in the ring, but I'm not interested in a face. Her being a face or being a heel. Like I'm not sure what it is. I was like Becky hasn't been hitting for me this year either, but I'll still take Becky over Charlotte.
I think it's the Randy Orton effect. She's won the belt whatever how many times, right?
Like 14 times, 12 times,
incredible
or
when she first came in, killed it, and I was like, all right, well now what? And that's kind of the same thing that happened to Orton. And he just kind of like, yeah, we know you're great. Okay, he's great, but then it was kind of just like, all right, but now what? Face turn, okay, cool. Heel turn, okay, cool. I'm still big on Charlotte, but I can understand where you're coming from for sure.
All right, is that all the questions?
So that was night one. I personally have night one killing night two. The matches,
Io and Bailey are night two.
That's night
Yep.
two.
Yep.
Whoa.
All right, let's get to it. Night 2, what we got?
All right, so we have, I guess now it's been announced as a Philly street fight match with Bobby Lashley and Street Profits versus Final Testament, Karrion Kross and Authors of Pain. Who do you want to win?
I hope the Pride win, and I hope we can move on from this feud.
Eshaun?
Please, I hope they add it as a member, as a faction must disband stipulation. And I hope that
which faction you talking about?
No, he's saying whoever loses.
Whoever loses,
okay,
the faction
got it.
must disband.
Yes.
That would be fun.
Yes.
Yeah, and then the Pride they win, and then New Testament they got to disband.
Yeah, I'm
because they suck. I told y'all from the very get, they ain't got it. They still ain't got it, and they go. I think this is. I'm going to go ahead and go out on a limb and say this is going to be the worst match.
We're not going to do that.
Of both
Let's
nights.
not do that. Let's
you
not
think
do
so?
that.
Seriously?
Absolutely, because that's how bad the last testament, the second testament, whatever they name it, that's how bad they are.
I think if this was a straight up 6-man, I could see that. But doing a Philly street fight, give Montez something high to jump off of. You got big, strong guys, do some great spots with weapons, and we're good. And it's going to, you can get some ECW chance. It's in Philly. Boom, boom, boom.
Oh, yeah.
I think
them bros can only do so much though with that. With all that
give me I'm taking the Final Testament because I need Tez to turn heel.
There we go.
And
I'm gonna go with it.
Yep, what Charlotte Bridges comes back.
Yep.
And on
and what he joins the Final Testament?
No, he goes on his own.
Absolutely.
I mean, what we doing?
Yeah, but he
gonna turn to do what?
I'm over it. I need to be by myself because Karrion Kross, everything that Karrion Kross kind of does, there's a point behind it. He cut that promo about 3 weeks ago, and he said maybe Montez needs to be the one leading the Pride. Maybe then you can start winning or something to that effect. Mm-hmm. And he was like, just saying. There's something to that. Yeah. And I think that Montez is going to look like, man, dude, I could do better than you, Bobby. And I would love a Montez-Bobby feud. I think that would be really, really good. But it's time for Tez to shit a girl off the pot. Mm-hmm. And not just him, but like WWE with him. Figure out where he needs to be and get him going ASAP. So yeah, give me the Final Testament.
Yeah. 1 year later, I've been beating this drum. We all have. Tez need to be his solo individual wrestler. The only way I think we can get that is by having them lose at Mania.
Oh my God! Against the Final Testament.
Against the Final Testament.
You're the only one that don't like Karrion Kross. Karrion Kross the GOAT, man.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Oh my Lord!
You'll break your ankle like that.
Which is better, Undisputed Truth or Undisputed Kingdom or The Last Testament?
The Final Testament. Y'all gotta get these names right. It's the Final Testament.
Oh my God!
Buddy. You gotta answer.
Well, he hate Roderick Strong, so
I feel like just the thought of either one makes me want to go yellow in the front and brown in the back, man. I mean, that's just a horrible question. I refuse to answer that. Pass.
You gotta go. You gotta pick one. Which one's the lesser two evils? But you would go Undisputed Kingdom because Adam Cole's in it.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm taking him out of the equation. Since he's not wrestling, he's not at full capacity. So
I'm
taking him out of it.
Kingdom.
Yeah, he's still.
No, he's not. No, he's not.
walking out,
But
too.
he
You
is.
see him?
He's
walking
at
out.
home. He said, you know what? He understands what's going on too. He wanted to be on the screen with these guys, man. He had the crib doing video packages.
He was walking
right?
last week. He was. So yeah, that's who I got. But I do think that match is gonna be good because it's a street fight.
Oh.
Yeah. Alrighty. The noises you've been making today has been crazy. I'm not gonna hold you up. I'm just like, okay.
Well, we know
let's
he's
keep
missing that match. So
Yeah.
what else we got?
He missed all of night one until the end, and then all right. So then we have next another match. I think is going to be such a great match. I think the work rate's going to be great. I'm not invested in it, but it's going to be LA Knight and AJ Styles.
This is the other match that I don't care about.
Yeah.
Same things be great or not great. Things be really good. Happy
Mhm.
for LA Knight to be able to go in there with AJ Styles, who was bona fide legend. I just don't. I'm just like, okay. I'm really indifferent about it.
The fact that LA Knight showed up at his house, give me LA Knight. That is funny enough for me to make me want him to win. So,
Okay, Eshaun?
Yeah, I'm going to eat during this match too. I'll come back for the finish.
Who's gonna
I'm
win?
going to go with LA Knight. I feel like that's what AJ Styles is at this moment. I mean, I know he's super AJ right now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, but
he on
I
that
feel
juice,
like
baby.
We all sitting here about to pick LA Knight. This man, to what Brandon just said, showed up to LA Styles' house, and we still like, hey, give me that guy. We some heels, I guess.
I like it.
well, LA Knight, he's the face in this, right?
Right, but he still showed up to this man's house.
He
Typically,
just showed up at his house,
the person
blowing
that's
the
in the house, don't they
blowing the
same-
horn.
yeah.
He said, "I
Yeah,
told
That's a
you."
heel. That's a
Hey,
heel.
Oh,
look,
suck
AJ Kids is grown, man. He know this was him and his wife there.
Say he's not Swerve, huh?
Yeah.
You see,
All right.
AJ says he's gonna have some new music.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then you
Ooh.
saw what the internet
Figure it
said
out,
after
buddy.
that. They
Ooh, the
was
kids-
like, "Oh shit!"
My
We're
kids ain't not gonna
precipice.
like that. My kids not gonna like that.
Cam liked that song too,
Yeah.
Yeah, but it doesn't fit his character right now. He's right on that. It doesn't. So
and he don't do the
nope.
no more.
Hey, let me tell y'all something, man. Who Def Rebel was making these songs?
Yep.
They batting over like 100 right now, man. I mean, we.
Yeah,
You
they need
should
to go
look
back
at-
to what's old dude name?
No,
Is it John Johnson?
Yeah, my
John
man, he's
John- Jim
96 years
Johnson,
old.
right?
He ain't coming back.
Jim
But who do they
Johnson.
have after him? It was the two guys.
CFO.
CFO got
Mhm.
some bangers.
Mm-hmm.
They got some bangers. And I'm sure
What?
Def has some bangers too. We just gotta find them.
I don't think CFO together anymore. Actually,
Aren't CFO like one hit wonders?
Oh no.
no.
Wait, what is
Bangers
CFO?
are bangers, dude.
They're like
No, what's their
they're
real
producers.
songs?
Oh,
I don't know.
No,
I
you're
don't. They're like a
somebody else.
production company.
Yeah,
I don't
they're
think they actually
producers,
made.
yeah.
Yeah, they're not. They're
Am
not.
I thinking LFO?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's what I said.
Let's come on, y'all. Let's go. Let's get
Okay,
now.
go.
Now
Here we
who's
go.
with LA Knight?
Def Rebel. He did LA Knight's music. That was good. He did Karrion Kross music. That was a banger.
Yeah.
He's also done Dominic Mysterio's. That's good.
Mm.
Who did Rhea?
Oh,
Did
hell,
he
he
do
did
Rhea?
Rhea's too? And he
Yeah,
did
Rhea's
Asuka's. All
great.
right, you know what? Back off my man, Def Rebel. He's a GOAT. Okay, what you got, Rhodesia?
No, you never said LA Knight or AJ Styles.
Oh, but I said we all taking LA Knight.
Okay. So I'll just let y'all
Because
pick from you two.
if he does not win, all hell breaks loose on night 2's pod. You don't put this man in the title match and you have him lose to Wash
Yeah.
AJ Styles, that's nuts.
Ooh, but he's
Ooh,
juiced.
Wash?
He's not
juiced
washed.
now. He's not washed.
He's juiced. Actually, you know what? Just because that
Yeah.
comment you made, I'm going with AJ Styles.
There you go.
Okay, so next
I know
we
that's
have the U.S. Championship. It's a triple threat. We have Logan
Here's the other
Paul,
one I don't
Randy
care about.
Orton,
Yeah.
and Kevin Owens.
Yeah, here's the other one.
Who we
Same
want to
thing.
win.
It's gonna be a good work match.
Logan
but-
Paul, right? There we go. Everybody want Logan
Yeah,
Paul
I'm
to
thinking
win.
Logan
Logan
Paul
Paul's winning
too.
this.
Yeah.
He's
Boom.
not dropping
Okay.
until SummerSlam. He's gotta go into his hometown as a champ.
Really quick, who takes it off of him in Cleveland?
LA Knight.
Ricochet.
Because
I was thinking Ricochet too.
that would be good. Damn, you gonna have him lose in his hometown though?
Yeah, that's old Vince
Then
Wade,
y'all
right?
I was about to say, didn't y'all tell me that was the old Vince way?
That was the old Vince way, but old Vince ain't there no more.
He is a heel though.
Yeah.
But I wonder if he's gonna be a face. I wonder if they intentionally make sure that he's a heel going into it. You know how that can go. Like,
Didn't he tell
that's
them
why I
that
moved.
he couldn't wait to get out of
That's what
Ohio?
I'm saying. Yeah,
He
he
already
could do
did that already, right?
Yep, he could do that. But yeah, give me of course, give me Logan Paul.
Everybody said Logan Paul, right?
Paul.
Okay.
Yeah.
Paul.
All right. Next, we have then the women's championship. We have
Nitty gritty
Io
time now.
Shirai,
Now we locked in.
Sky
Rest of the
versus
card.
Bailey. Who do you want to win?
Fat Booty Bailey.
Oh.
Twerk something.
E, who you going with?
Io. Give me some matches with, because now you got Jade that can chase. You got Bianca that can chase. Trinity can take a couple of pins.
But they need to get right to it, though. I mean, she ain't fought nobody.
Well, but here's another one that could easily be a rematch at Backlash.
Yeah.
Because it just feels like, oh man, this is a hard one. Because if Bailey wins, incredible moment. But I don't know if, like, Io, is it time to drop the title? It doesn't feel like it to me.
I've been down on her title run. I think she's been more interesting recently.
Mm-hmm.
But I felt like her whole run, she's been kind of in the shadow too much. If you think about Dakota, it's like it's the league woman now. Wow, and doesn't she looks great too in that league? Yep. She's really figured out
she's super
character
confident.
And her look and everything now.
Yep.
But I think there's some levels that she can get to, and I would like to see maybe Bailey continue to chase.
See, that's what I'm thinking, right? Because you could even do something where Damage Control costs Bailey the match. And then Bailey runs through Damage Control over the next couple months just to get back to Io. You could do something like that. So, Brandon, you're going Bailey. E, you're going Io. Rhodesia, who you going?
I go last. Stop trying to take my job here. I'm asking you, who do you want? I wrap it.
Who you got?
Oh my God. What did Brandon say? Big booty
Brandon
Bailey?
said Bailey.
Let's go with Bailey.
All right, so I'll go Io, just so it's split 50-50.
Cool. Yep. And I'll tell you why. Bailey has done so much. She deserves this moment at WrestleMania. So that is why I'm giving it to Bailey. Absolutely.
I'll tell you why.
I get it.
Why?
This is going to be another great match, too.
I can't believe I'm up here objectifying women with y'all. That's so shame on me. All right. So next.
We just going to sit here or?
That's next. I wanted that to simmer. All right. So next we have the heavyweight championship. We have Seth Rollins versus
on one leg by that time
with one eyeball. You see his face. His face was like jacked.
Yeah, buddy. He is going to come into this match less than 50%.
Yeah. And he already came off of a real injury. But so we have Seth versus Drew. I think I could speak for all of us, but I'm not going to. If Drew did resign, I think we all have the same answer, right?
There's no way in hell Drew didn't. And then you see they announced Clash at the Castle is
somewhere.
They did announce it?
They announced it today. Yep. It is somewhere in that area. Let me pull it up real quick. It is.
That's a hell of a reporting.
I know.
I could have did that, yo.
Tune in
I could
more.
have did that.
Clash at the Castle. So yeah, but give me Drew. Right. I'm hoping maybe, but it is at Glasgow. It is in Scotland.
Scotland.
June 14th. Or June 15th.
He's got to go there as champion. He's got to go there as champion.
Okay, but you still got it. Okay, so yeah, that's what we think. But then if that doesn't mean he's got to win it, unfortunately, at Mania, he could see he still has.
Drew will lose all respect for me unless there's chaos.
You think he's an asshole now on social media?
I mean, seriously, Drew cannot lose against half of a quarter of a Seth.
So you mean to tell me that if he loses, the CM Punk and Drew match would be nothing for you, huh?
It'll still be good.
For me, yeah, it'll be something for
me.
I
think you got to go Drew Punk at SummerSlam. I don't know how you hold it off to this point. Oh, and that was the other thing too. Punk confirmed it was going to be him and Seth at Mania. We knew it, but to hear him say it, it's like, man, damn.
No, I was just saying it's messing with Rhodesia because she doesn't respect CM Punk and now she won't respect Drew.
I love how you just be changing narrative. No, I said I would lose respect for Drew McIntyre. I didn't say anything else about Punk.
All right, so who we going in?
I want Drew.
I think we're all saying Drew, right?
What if we get Drew?
If we get a cash,
what if we get Drew in a squash?
Okay.
What if we get Drew?
I would love that. That could be the squash. That could be the squash. It would be semblance of Brock and Cena at that SummerSlam years ago. where Suplex City started, you could easily do a 6-7 minute squash match. And it would make perfect sense.
Yeah.
Drew
It
is the
would.
only one that's fresh. Actually,
Yep.
there's no way in hell Drew loses this match.
I
even with
just
a
said
cash
that. I
Even
said
with a
that.
cash
Oh,
in.
with the cash
Even
in,
with a
okay.
cash in.
Well,
Even
yeah,
with
even
a
with
cash
yeah, I
in.
agree with you too. Because his opponent Seth is not going to be able to do nothing. So yeah, you're right. Drew
What-
should still be at full capacity.
If we get a cash in and somehow like Damian f's up the cash in, and then Seth's able to capitalize on it, he is architect, right?
That'd be the worst.
And somehow he gets that pin because those two kind of crossed up, and he benefits out of it. And that continues, Drew. That gives Drew something to whine about.
So then,
Like,
the
right?
only way that works is if Cody does pin Rock night 1.
Here's the cash in I want to see, which don't hate me.
Oh
Ta-
my
take-
goodness!
Take away Cody's take Cody's moment. I want to see Drew come in. I mean, I want to see Priest come in, a battered Cody. He's been fighting for
If we get that
40 minutes.
I
And
I
will.
take it
Priest
all back,
come in.
Damien. I take it back. You are the
That's-
smartest.
That is the
wrestler in
only
history.
way that cash in looks good to me.
What are you, at AEW mode? You just want that business to go down the shitter, huh? You just want
Yeah,
you want
you're
them
right.
to,
You know what, Damien?
Yes.
My
you
apologies.
wanted Damian Priest to end the night.
Damien,
as
you've been holding
champion.
off this entire time because you knew
That's the
you were going to
only
call
way
your
that
shot
works.
night 2. My apologies, Damien Priest.
Man,
You are the
I wish
man
the
for
video
that.
boy was working.
But
Hey,
see, I
hey,
can't-
RSS Riverside, get your stuff together so I can play the poop sound on the media board. 'Cause this is where I'm scared to use it right now, and it calls for the occasion. Riverside, please fix your software so I can put Papa Boo Boo emojis after people's statements, please.
I
I
love
can't
that.
follow. I can't follow what Brandon just said. But along those lines, what if though, real talk, Damien cashed in on night 1 on Seth?
Then it's weak.
You think so? So
Yeah,
it'd be Damien going
because
into with Drew.
no,
night
yeah,
2?
you because you just took away one of the main events of WrestleMania, so that wouldn't
Okay.
happen because we're all
Okay.
here to see Drew and Seth. Any other night, cool, love it. But yeah, you don't do that because there's no heat behind Drew and Damien. I like
right.
that cash in though.
That shit.
That's great.
So we know how the end of the night, end of the night is going to end with the cash in. But the final match of the night, we have the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes 2.
It is taking us 2
Icon
hours and
versus
6 minutes to
icon.
get here. And I am wearing the shirt on my debut on the Romans biography. Same shirt. Been down for you, Roman. You know that. We are here. We are here to officially give our predictions on the most polarizing match, potentially in the history of WWE. Half of us say it's going to be Bloodline Rules. Well, I guess 3 out of 4 of us say it's going to be Bloodline Rules, right? No, just me and Brandon. I think, Rhodesia, you are on the record and he's on the record saying
As a
Cody
bold
pins Rock.
prediction.
So we got half saying Bloodline Rules. We got a half saying it's going to be a regular one-on-one match. Brandon, you get the honors. Who is walking out of night 2 if it is not Damian Priest as Universal Champion?
Matches cashed in on me. Like, dude, I'm supposed to tee up people here. Go ahead, Brandon.
Cody and Roman going at it, beating the shit out of each other. Solo comes out.
Taking it
Doom.
all.
Undertaker comes out to fight off
Whoa.
Solo.
Taker's
Oh my
back.
God, what is happening?
Undertaker. Whoa, what I just missed.
Jimmy come out. No. Hold on.
Bring it back. Bring it back.
What's happening?
Cena comes out for Solo.
Oh, I gotta write this down. Okay.
They beef. You hear his
Hey,
music.
because he got to get his lick back from when Solo beat his ass
Right,
a
so
few
we
months
have-
Uh, Undertaker comes out for Jimmy. Rock gets tired of this shit. He beating up everybody. That glass cracks.
Glass
Fuck.
breaks.
Whoa.
Here comes Stone Cold beating up the Rock. They all defending everything for Cody. Cody gets speared.
By who?
Roman.
Okay. I'm writing it down.
Cody kicks out. Somehow we get a super punch. Cody kicks out.
Got it. Superman punch.
I don't know. Somebody new for the bloodline come out. Did he spear him again?
Rikishi.
Yeah.
About time, Kishi
Rikishi.
finally.
Kishi, Sika. Nah, I don't know. I think Cody wins, unfortunately.
Oh, you built that up so good to get us with Cody's
Don't worry,
Dude.
I'll finish it for him. I'll finish it for him.
Okay.
I do think Cody wins. But I do think y'all said this a while back. I do think we get chaos. It might not be from those big stars, but I think a host of people come out to help defend Cody, and we do get like some kind of Avenger like stare down at some point. I think this match is going to be like 45 minutes or some crazy shit like that. But I think it's going to be a lot of storytelling within this story, and unfortunately, I think Cody's going to win. I don't know. I I don't know if there's a huge revolt from people if Cody loses. By all means, I will be elated if Roman wins because that would be my preference. But I don't know.
What a fucking heel.
And the
I
question
don't
was,
know.
who do you want to win? So you
Yeah.
want Roman to win, right?
I want Roman to win, but I think Cody's win. I just don't see, and they probably know better than I know, obviously, because they run the business. But I don't see the path for Cody to pull it off. There is one, but I don't know what that looks like. I don't know what the stories are beyond this night if Roman wins. So we'll see.
Eshaun?
Adrenaline in my soul.
He's
Learn
still on the words.
fucking words.
Learn the words, buddy. How is he your favorite? You don't know the words yet.
Ouch.
Learn
My
the words.
mama said, when I get older.
You should go to the fireworks store. I want to see fireworks in your backyard if he wins.
We did it, guys. We did it. We finally finished stories. Daddies, Sonny, Dusty. We did it for y'all. It was a long, 20 years to get to this point, y'all. But damn it, we made it, man. This is. I'm gonna wake my kids up. I'm sure it's gonna be like 1:00 in the morning or some shit. I'm gonna wake the kids up and I'm gonna show them black excellence. I'm gonna show them black. I'm gonna show them black excellence being displayed on the TV. You know what I'm saying? A black man holding up the World Undisputed Championship.
You got The Rock winning night 2? Oh my god!
I said a black man. I ain't
didn't
said
even think about
a black man, not an old bitter black man holding down today's youth. No, I'm talking about somebody who there.
Money in the Bank.
And so, and WWE Triple H, look, I got an idea. We gonna introduce the Cody Cam, right? So everybody, we gonna film ourselves. Cheering Cody, right? And they gonna pipe in on Raw all the cheers and the smiles. We gonna get that baby girl back on the camera, man. You fucking heels sitting there talking about that little baby. Fuck you, Dwayne. Fuck you up the ass. Let me tell you something. You want to bring that little girl and mock her? Brandon, you nasty bastard. You mocking him. Matt Carter, a pussy. Like all you nasty, filthy, dirty. Bring that little precious baby girl on the cam and show her black excellence that you can do it too. We can win. Positivity, people. Yes. Let's go.
Oh my god.
It does feel like this match is the podcast. This has been a running storyline for us since episode 1.
Yeah.
So regardless how it ends, it feels fitting for the TFW podcast. So this is what I got. I have talked myself into a shoot. We've talked for an entire year about the reasons why Cody Rhodes should win. We never talked about the reasons why Roman Reigns should win, though.
I have.
And watching that biography, Triple H came on that screen and said something very profound. Triple H said, you look at the results and the numbers and the business metrics, and since Roman Reigns has been champion, the numbers are jumping off the board. He said it's not even a comparison if Roman was not champion. And I've always said Cody is a top guy. But it is not to be known if he is the next guy. And if numbers aren't jumping off the board the way Triple H said, you do not pull that trigger yet until you are 1,000,000% sure Cody Rhodes is the guy. I wake up this morning, Lil Matt goes to school. I told y'all about Lil Matt. He just, out of nowhere, sometimes he'll hit me with something profound. He sends me a text message this morning at 7:11 a.m. He says, Cody Rhodes, and he puts a rose, a red rose. He said Cody Rhodes is not the guy. He's great. He's amazing. He's a pull. He can't put this company on his back for the foreseeable future.
Matthew was dreaming about this.
Look at E.
Lil Matt comes out of nowhere again. 2:36 p.m.
Oh, shoot. Did you respond to the first one?
I said, is Mama Rose the woman, though? He said, yeah.
Okay, got it.
2:36 p.m. And Eshaun, this is to you, sucker. From undesirable to undeniable to unachievable.
That kid got bars. He done turned his camera off.
When Samantha at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Time says, and still,
I hope it's Samantha too.
I am going to cry tears of joy that we did it again.
For our daddies.
So the one.
For our daddies.
Roman Reigns, somehow, some way, through John Cena, through Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Undertaker. We got Undertaker. And Rikishi.
Through Rikishi. So Rikishi's going to be on Roman's side.
Okay.
Walks out your undisputed champion. We're in the top of the sixth inning.
Top of the
Rhodesia,
sixes.
I throw it to you.
Crazy.
Again, I can't follow you. All three great stories. Like, that's so amazing. Thank y'all for bringing the content. I just want Roman to win because, again, I want him to beat Hogan's record. And that is just as simple put as it is for me. You can say that I'm a whatever you want to call me, because I'm stupid, I just want Roman. We're already here. All this time would have been done in vain. Him going on his sabbaticals while he's working have been done in vain. Let him break this Hogan record. That is all I have to say. I want Roman to win, and I think Roman's going to win. I think it's going to be a solo match. There's not going to be bloodline rules as the match. We know there's going to be some tomfoolery going on, but it is going to be a solo match, and Roman will win. Again, I will lose all respect for Roman. If you have Cody, we had Seth at 25%, you got Cody at 15%, you can't beat Cody at 15%, then you're not a tribal chief. You are not a nothing. So, want Roman to win, and I think Roman's going to win.
Did you just cut The Rock's promo for him?
Can I get some money for that, please?
Just asking.
Please.
Sounds like
Or WrestleMania tickets.
Sounds like a promo cut for the new tribal chief of the bloodline to me.
I might come over and watch night 2 with you, E.
Come on, man.
Because that would be good. I would probably die on your couch.
Hey,
Laugh
but
at.
if Cody loses, you gotta go. We ain't gotta talk, man. Just get your shit and leave, man.
As you can see, ladies and gentlemen, night 1 and night 2 post show will be a hell of a night for the PTFW podcast. 4 of us will be back to talk through everything that we're going to see this weekend. This is absolutely our Super Bowl, our NBA Finals, our World Series, our World Cup, whatever is the apex to your world. That is what this is for us as wrestling fans. Enjoy this week. This is what it's about. Leave the tribalism at home and we're at the door. Watch some fantastic wrestling and come back to see us on Saturday night and Sunday night. We'll also be live on YouTube. We'll be live on Twitter, so you can check us out there. And didn't give out the socials yet, but that's FNW, Twitter, Instagram, 5 stars, comments, tell a friend and tell a friend. Y'all know the deal. Brandon, thank you for being on the show, my
Thank
good
you,
man.
Brandon.
Rhodesia, of course, thank y'all. As always, we'll be back Saturday night to break it down. See you then.